Right now with capitalism, all of the gains in automation, it goes to the owner class. All you have to do is have everyone be an owner, and now suddenly any gain in automation is a gain for everybody. If you grow just one thing, it may not grow as well as if it grows with another thing. A good example of that is called the Three Sisters method of farming.
There is definitely multi apartment buildings or multifamilies that do passive design.
$100 million that they gave to Joe Rogan that they would kind of be out if they breach contract. Is that a bigger number? Or is 2 billion a bigger number?
I don't know,
It's a
Zach.
tough one. I
It's
know,
really hard.
and maybe
Yes.
comparing numbers is not Jeremy's strong suit. Gotta go kill a Jenny.
I still don't think you should kill her. I don't think it's a good idea.
It's a ghost, dude. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody, to Bread Theory. So joining me for our fortnightly conversation is Dan Plaat of the Three Left Show. How you doing tonight, Dan?
I'm all right. A little hot, but that's
Yeah.
just some. I spent the weekend recovering from a cold,
Yeah.
and it's
Well,
obviously not done yet. It's probably going to take all week, but at least I'll probably be good enough
yikes.
to go back to work. But it's great that unlike railroad workers, I have paid sick leave, so I could just leave on Friday and sleep. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's have some privacy.
Very good.
So, brilliant. I'm glad I could join you. I had to cancel everything else I was doing this weekend. I
Oh
may
my
even
goodness.
I may even take time off to actually do some of those things.
Oh
But
wow.
otherwise, how are you?
I'm doing well. Doing well. I'm on the verge of being able to put in an offer for a house finally. So pretty excited about that. Have all the credit stuff and all the mountains of paperwork to get pre-approved, all done and ready to go. We're just waiting to hear back from the mortgage lender to see what our actual rate would be, what all the fees would be, and so forth, and then we'll proceed with an offer. So yeah, exciting.
Yeah, I'm going totally out of order of mine. I went to the bank first and said, "Okay, what's my credit ceiling here? What's my
Yeah,
mortgage ceiling?" Then I'll look for a house.
yeah.
Is it
I
in
mean,
an
we did that
urban?
too.
Is yours in an urban area or?
I I will still be in St. Paul. It's actually not far from where I'm at right now, so that's nice. There's a little bit of a yard. It's an urban lot, so it's under a quarter acre, probably like more like a tenth of an acre. But it's got space. I'm a landscaper. I love the idea of having a little bit of land to play around with. So yeah,
You
that
could
part's
build
exciting. But
something to
we'll still be,
maximize it. I mean, remember that
yeah,
video of the urban balcony?
absolutely, yeah, yeah. I'll be doing that only on a bigger scale even than that. So, but yeah, it's like 5 minute drive to downtown St. Paul. So we're still pretty much in the heart of things,
So
which
that
is
means it'll
nice.
only be 10 minutes by bike.
Right, right. Yeah. There's some crazy drivers in our neighborhood, but I'm gonna have to find out the safest bike path to get
Hmm.
over there because that would be nice. It's pretty much just a straight shot. So if I can do it safely, I definitely would.
Sometimes the most hilly route is the one that has the least traffic. So you have to,
Right,
it's just another of those burdens of the being pressed.
right. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, there are bike trails around, so I'll have to see if any are close enough. I guess, yeah. You know what? Come to think of it, there is one that's not too far, so I'll probably be using that one.
Just as bikes have to be segregated into their own lanes, so too women's only spaces.
Oh my God, yes. Right. But in both cases, it's for the safety of the user. So,
Hmm. Okay. So, and the last thing I put into the link feed is just an opener, fun little joke.
ah,
Joker has joined us. It's from the
Joker
last
has
season
joined us.
of Harley Quinn, from that was released in the last month. And yeah, let's. Mike, the question for you is: do you think this helps or hurts our brand?
Okay, okay, we'll take a look. Let
This
me just share the screen here.
exposure in media, that throwing at
Right.
us.
Let's take a look.
Oh yeah, possibly. So,
Sure.
in the last season, Joker has somewhat reformed. He is a
Mm,
stepfather, like he has a relationship with the Latina woman, and so who
okay.
has two kids, and so he's kind of like not killing anyone anymore. And so as being a stepfather, trying to do the best he can. So it's like he's trying to get them in the goal was they need to be in the bilingual immersion program. But
Okay.
because of austerity, there's only 12 spots in Gotham's
Oh no.
bilingual immersion program. And he tried doing the nice thing for Debbie of the school board, and she just kind of true like, oh, she's true evil. Blows it blow. And so now he's decided to do this. All right.
He's gonna do things the Joker way.
The
Okay.
Joker way.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The old Joker is back. Get 2 cameras on him. Where's the chopper cam?
Attention, Gotham City. I've had it with your shit. I tried being villain, that didn't work. I tried being a good stepdad, that didn't work. I tried meditation, and then, actually that almost worked until the app I was using started charging. Yet the city remains a hateful asshole. That's why things are going to change right now.
He's pointing at me!
I'm running for mayor!
Less than 24 hours ago, Joker announced he was running for mayor. Today, we are following Joker and his goons to the Gotham Bank. For what? We're not sure. I'm Suave with Thrice TV. Can you tell us what you're doing here today?
Some mayoral candidates take bribes from big money. I'm skipping the bribe part and just taking the money and giving it back to the citizens. Here's your money shot!
Oh, wow. Hey, what do you hope to accomplish as mayor of Gotham?
Well, to start, education reform. Every child should have the choice to be in a dual immersion class and be bilingual. I also want free universal health care. Do you think Arkham would have a 3-year wait list if everyone had access to free mental health services? And the rich 1%ers are gonna pay for it all. Big changes are gonna happen. Damn it, Gary! I said we're not doing the stupid Reservoir Dogs thing.
You want the rich to pay for all this? Are you like a socialist?
I'm not like
Like
a socialist.
a socialist.
I am a socialist. And together, we're gonna fix this city! Sorry, I thought you were ready for that. We locked eyes. We were looking right here. This is our money! Our Gotham!
Now this has to be some sort of trap. It's Joker, for crap's sake. He's Batman's archenemy, and I'm Batman's best friend.
There you go.
Hey, he's got my vote.
He does. He wins total landslide
Nice.
because it's the joke is the incumbent mayor through shenanigans gets incapacitated and then is killed, and so it's Commissioner Gordon is just kind of running unopposed, and that's when Joker steps in. And then Joker kicks his ass because he actually cares about people. And Commissioner Gordon's like, "Oh, you're sick. I want tanks and more police."
Yeah, that's funny. Law and Order candidate.
Neon
Thank you so much.
Vapor. What's the
Hold
what's
on. One
Yeah.
second though. Thanks very much for the raid, I Dan Simpson. Everyone, check out I Dan Simpson.
Oh,
I didn't get the notification, but yeah, I
Awesome.
like his stuff a lot. So
Awesome.
thank you
Full
very
raid.
much. So
Hi,
go,
guys.
Go check out his
So
stuff.
Neon Vapor, nice to see you. Yeah, like Joker emoji. I didn't know what issue is that from. That's not in any of the movies or cartoons. The Joker's parents were killed by Batman's parents. That would be. I didn't know. Yeah, that. I'm not so sure about that, but yeah, there might be a. I mean, I have not read all the comics, right? I have not read all the comics, so maybe I mean, and there's also the different types. There's the New 42, and there's different runs. Yeah, maybe it's from Universe 6.
There you go.
You
Yeah,
know, in
when
Universe 6
they're
that
playing
happened.
around with.
Maybe maybe it's the one where it's the reverse universe where the Joker is is the hero and Batman is part of the tyrannical regime.
Hey Dan, how you doing tonight? I saw you were playing Fortnite earlier. How'd that go? That looked
Hello,
pretty
fellow
fun.
Dan of the Dan Army.
That's right. Yes. Dan's are taking over.
Gonna look a little gross. Okay, so next order of business.
Yeah, let's go
Our
to the
little
next
game.
one.
Spot the bullshit.
Sure. Okay, so which
So
one
that's
was
the first
that one?
link.
The very first link.
And if you
Okay,
want,
let's
you
pull that
mentioned
up.
you put Tucker in the title. If you want that, you'll need to search that yourself and bring it up.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, there should be plenty of stuff.
I only saw Hassan reacting to it this
Yeah, that's the one I was listening to as well. All
with my
right.
breakfast at noon.
Pretty ridiculous story.
So,
but-
so Transpanic is at it again, big transparent, and it comes forward in the form of this, which my first thought was some kind of senior prank.
yeah, right.
And then there's video of this person cutting wood with a bandsaw, which
Going about their
could
job.
be
Uh-huh.
some kind of innuendo.
Uh-huh.
But also maybe a gag like, this is how far away you need to be to safely use the bandsaw. This
Sure,
far away.
Sure.
If it is the teacher.
Seems.
So
If it is the teacher, right.
yeah, so I'm going to read out. This is from the Toronto Sun of the Murdoch Empire, I assume. Actually, you read it out. My voice could give out, so.
Yeah, sure. So, the Halton District School Board is standing behind an accepted transgender teacher who has gone viral in social media video posts. Scrolling down, protecting any person's gender rights is the stance of the school board is taking, and they are standing behind the teacher, said Shuttleworth. Have I missed part of the article here? I don't know.
Whatever. I'm sure it's terrible journalism.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. So it was wedged in between ads. That's why I didn't see it. In addition, HDSB Chair Margot Shuttleworth tells the Toronto Sun that staff are looking at going through creating a safety plan to ensure the Oakville Trafalgar High School teacher security as they prepare for potential protests when the school opens for class on Monday. Protecting a person's gender rights is a stance the school board is taking, and they are standing behind the teacher, said Shuttleworth. Pre-transitioning, the teacher was known to students and faculty as a male and went by a man's name. But the teacher now identifies as a woman and is referred to with female pronoun. Okay, so for anyone that definitely has not heard a single thing about what being trans is, there you go. The school board said it sees her simply as a good teacher. This teacher, who teaches shop, is an extremely effective teacher, said Shuttleworth, and all the kids really love being in the class. Yeah, Hassan made the joke. Oh yeah, I wonder why. But videos posted to social media showing the Oakville Industrial Arts teacher who began identifying as a female last year, appearing in class with large prosthetic breasts while operating circular saw. She has created much commentary. Okay, and there's the video. I guess we can watch it. Yep. So there you go.
Cutting that long, hard wood.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah.
Put that on Pornhub.
And some more photos. Okay, so yes.
Okay, so can you first note, the school district, it's like they're living in a different reality. It's like they're not reacting to this video, right? Is that how it comes across?
They're not reacting to the video?
Yeah, like they're reacting to something else, like they're just reacting to some type of transphobia basically being done.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, I guess so. And I'm sure there's been, after Tucker Carlson covered it, I'm sure there's been a lot of stuff coming into the school
wave
about
of
it.
trolls. Okay, so let's play the game. Zach, what do you think the bullshit is here.
The bullshit is here.
Yeah, what do you think is going on
with this story?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm hoping it's not that this person is trying to make some sort of right-wing political statement about the ridiculousness of men identifying as women. I hope it's just legitimately a person who enjoys having large fake breasts and doing their job.
Okay, so
That's what I'm hoping.
Layer one is my like first guess was the shop teacher was having a go at themselves. This is like Halloween. This is or
Sure.
it's part of senior prank or something like that.
Right.
And just kind of having fun on a particular day.
Mhm.
But the reality is even more disheartening in that the name let's go with Hannah. That is not Hannah. That is not the
So it's not
so
the trans teacher.
so
Okay.
likely this is a transphobic student making fun of their shop teacher.
Oh, are you
And
serious?
well, I did a quick just a quick go duck go search.
Mm-hmm.
And after the first 4 or 5 results, which were the right-wing press, I got the
Mm-hmm.
Bay Observer.
Uh-huh.
Media wrongly named individual as transgender Halton teacher. The Halton
Okay.
District School Board finds itself in the eye of a media storm over a transgender teacher whose photo has appeared in GTA news stories wearing a very large set of prosthetic breasts. The board has defended the teacher, saying the man who is transitioning to female is an excellent teacher in the shop class, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, oh, somebody's sending us messages about our trans teacher that they're a problem. Well, they're not a problem as far as our policies go.
Right.
Because they're not talking about the person wearing the costume. Now it appears some media have incorrectly identified the HBSB staff member. The board issued
Okay.
a statement clarifying the matter that reads, the Halton District School Board would like to formally correct misinformation that is being spread online in the media about a staff member. Quote, the Oakville, so this is their like kind of after they figured out what's going on statement. The Oakville Trafalgar High School has received significant attention online over the past several days. As part of this coverage, a teacher has been incorrectly identified as Stephen Hanna. While we cannot confirm the identity of the individual in the photos, videos, radio segments, we can confirm that the individual is not Stephen Hanna. Stephen Hanna is a staff member of the Halton District School Board who is an entirely separate individual and is completely unrelated to this matter.
Okay.
Now let's see. The end of it is just they request that all outlets who have incorrectly reported on this correct this immediately and remove Mr. Hanna's name from all content related to this matter. So is it supposed to be Miss Hanna who is the trans shop teacher, or is Stephen Hanna just like a different staff member whose name is being used as being because it's the male name? So it's a trans teacher who's probably using a female name or a different name, and it's not either Miss or Mr. Hanna. That's a different teacher maybe. So it's all kinds of confused. And,
yeah, I'm certainly confused. I don't.
And we probably need to interview someone who goes to that school to know, like, oh yeah, there's this gaggle of assholes who were doing this prank on their teacher, or like they filmed this. It's because there is a trans teacher.
So there is a trans
send it to
teacher,
right-wing news.
but this is
likely
not that teacher.
Which is classic right wing these days. I mean, it's always been the case, really. Whenever it comes to any kind of panic, social panic, is you take example of something that the panic is about, like, oh, there's a black person in this neighborhood, or there's a trans person at the school. And then you basically make up a story involving them, and you tell the wider world that this is them. And with the magic of the internet media,
they just take it and run with it.
Well, that, but also you can just create a TikTok video and say, this is the trans teacher. And they'll run with it because, like all media, like bureaucracy and other structural oppression, I guess.
Oh yeah.
It all kind of reinforces existing biases. Uh,
Sure. I mean, it seems like not that different from what like DeSantis and that Texas governor were doing, where they were sending undocumented immigrants seeking asylum to the blue states to prove how much they don't want those immigrants either in their communities. It seems like a similar sort of thing that is going to end up backfiring. That, oh, let's put up this caricature, or what we consider a caricature of a trans person, and we'll watch the liberal media go, oh well, that's the line. I don't fall in line with this. We hate trans people just as much as you when it
yeah,
comes
they
down to
look
it.
ridiculous because
Yeah,
they're supporting the trans teacher. In their heads, that's all they're doing. But in the right wing sphere or reality, as far as the news cycle goes, their news
yeah,
cycle, they're supporting and they're in line behind this this fantasy
hmm
of the
hmm
big boobad teacher. Really, it's a student, likely a student in a costume.
yeah.
That forces Tucker
Jeez.
Carlson to. I mean, they're practically internet famous now. If
Sure.
they were named, but they're not. But whatever. That's me. That's isn't that great.
Uh-huh.
I got Tucker Carlson to say hentai on national TV.
Oh my God.
Not just say it, but say like hentai is translates as exploding milk boobs.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was quite the line that he reached over for hentai and was so eager to
Well,
share
he
with
had to
everyone. So,
explain the exaggerated body
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, right.
So yeah, big shrug from me too, Neon Vapor.
hmm
So speaking of transphobia, um, have you ever read web comics, Zach?
I read web comics. Yeah, I
Okay.
believe
Webcomics to
time to
me are an
time.
unappreciated art meat form. They're quite a new medium, in the last about 20 years old. And there's one particular webcomic that started basically when you could have started back in 2000. And it's called Sinfest.
Okay.
Now, there's a few YouTube videos out there that talk about Sinfest, but not many of them, and most of them are right
Oh
wingers.
yeah, I think I recognize this one.
I think many of us might because it was very popular in when new atheism was like new. Maybe I caught a glimpse of it for a bit when I was a new atheist, but got bored with it because it is truly a serialized comic strip like the kind that belong in a paper.
Sure.
Um, but that when you do something for 20 years, if you are a good quality artist, you will in fact evolve your work.
Sure.
And so like the first decade of his work, it's Sinfest is your standard satirical comic that has kind of Calvin and Hobbes vibes, but instead of a kid and a tiger, it's this guy named Slick who literally looks like Calvin, but
Hmm.
is meant to be older, so he's horny. And a
Okay.
woman named Monique, who's the it girl, who's a beat poet, and she's kind of super scanty. There's a lot of skank jokes, like the skank signal. It's my, I gotta find the right outfit, and she also has like her butt is a registered weapon. She goes like bam with her butt, and like people explode. It's like don't make me do it, boom, And so like it's this run on gag, and there's a bunch of run on gags about like movies, posters, and all this and that. And so it's all over the place. Cat jokes as well, self inserts. It goes all over the place, but otherwise is a over time introduces new characters.
Sure.
But the general gist that he starts with is the first joke really is that you have a guy named Slick and you have the devil, Satan, doing he's at a Peanuts like booth, like but instead of psychiatrist,
Right.
it's sell your soul, whatever you want. One soul. And it's Satan and he takes orders. And so it starts with Slick putting in his application, and like I read the first month or two of the comic, and like I basically pulled away because I just wanted to see where he starts.
Mm-hmm.
Where he checks in with saying like, "Hey, how's my application?" And Satan, being annoyed by like God and Jesus, he's like, "Shut up, leave me alone." So he's like not processing his application. Okay, so so generally, it's this satirical back and forth. No one's really right. Radical, kind of very much a centrist.
Mm-hmm.
Gods, the religious are silly.
Sure.
Atheists are silly. Everyone's quite silly. But you also have a friendship between Slick and Monique. Will they? Won't they? They never quite get together. It's like Monique is a skank who's never satisfied. Oh, men, I hate men. They're not like, I wish I had a nice guy like you. Not like, it's like I wish I had a nice guy, and Slick's like, I'm right here. It's like
Yeah. Okay.
one of the many run-on jokes, right?
Sure.
And so it's like, okay, there's a little bit of nice guy politics happening here. Because I'm trying to I'm going back because I'm introduced to when he's like, this is the latest, right? You can see like the transphobia coming in. And so I want to get like the gist of the evolution, because I think there's some insight to gather about whether like centrists and how they think and see the world, especially from the lens of someone who has been writing comics for the last 20 years. Usually you get people when they're just jumping in at certain political cycles when they became involved. And you have someone who's been involved since 2000, which I can't even say. And yeah, so the first 10 years, but then he has a breakup with his girlfriend in 2010 to mid 2011. Sure. And you might expect like certain people, like say Sneeko, latest of the Manosphere, that he would get red pilled and go misogynist. Well, this is 2011, so red pill actually means going radfem. Very surprising. So he goes radfem and he shifts the comic. So by the way, I put the comic link in you. So you brought it up already. So if you go to archive and go to, I don't think I didn't put in a date, but basically you want to go to like October of 2011.
October 2011.
You want to go to the upper left with the year there.
Oh, gotcha.
And then click go.
11. Go. And we going down to August. Just
not August. Go to October. Like
October?
End of October. Yeah.
End of October.
Mostly, yeah. So there's lots of characters. One of them are Satan's son, who's ignored, and because he doesn't have any devil powers. And there's this run on like all these concepts that get involved. I actually recommend this comic because it has a lot going on. And there's this BOMF, B-O-M-F, which is like an explosion sound effect, but it's also demifying something. So anyway, so he goes back and forth with all these side characters. So click next. Till we get past what's going on with them. So this is Little Evil, who's basically for the first 10 years of the comic, or whenever he introduces him, Little E is just the stand-in for the online troll.
Okay.
And so, but he just fell into this amnesia river, and so he's like blank slate now, because he basically needed to reboot his characters for his turn to radical feminism. He couldn't have this character that you're supposed to identify with or something, or he's like, I'm done satirizing internet trolls because to me they're no longer a joke. The devil girl who has the orange coloring, named Tangerine or Tange, she's just a prepubescent girl who the devil was just really mad, and so he bombed her to the Stone Age. So she's like a feral demon girl who, like a fresh person in the world, like just absorbs everything. And so that's why she like talks like, I found your boom boom, and so on. And also Satan just represents everything wrong with the world. Like he's just your standard capitalist, exploitative, represents the man and so on. And
Interesting is.
so it's an easy, so he takes everything he's been doing with the comic and recontextualizes it. So now Satan, representing the man, the system, is just patriarchy,
Okay.
which wasn't the case before.
Interesting. I see there's the takeoff on the Barack Obama Hope and Change poster.
Yeah,
with the devil is fear.
He started as an Obama fan, and
Okay.
obviously by this
By
time
20
he's not
2011.
anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah, because anything he likes that basically becomes like something he doesn't like, it's now part of the system. It's been absorbed by Satan in the comic.
Okay.
Because unlike most other comic artists, he actually kind of inserts and parallels the comic with the real world. So after 2011, there's this sisterhood. Oh yeah, another common joke he has is this pig character named Squiggly. He gets high and he's flying on his couch.
Okay.
Get the joke? Get it? He gets high. So,
Uh-huh.
oh damn it. Okay, so this is Monique, and she has been red pilled by the No, actually, sorry. You may need to go back a month to see like the turn. So this is after he's made his turn, but
So do we have to go
just to
through
go
the
back
whole
to
archives
archive
then?
and go to the beginning of October. And it's
Ah.
tedious, but I think it's worth reading it.
Sure.
It should be 2011. Okay. Beginning of October. Started at where'd you start? Yeah, so for a while, so his first turn in the getting political and losing some of his fan base was that he was against the security state. Maybe it was the Manning leaks, or probably the Manning leaks first, because the Snowden leaks were in 2013, 14. Satan starts getting into the drone biz, and he's basically just using the drones to perv on people at this point. So it's not really about control, though. It's more like he's just like the drones go around and like look at people's butts. It's interesting. So, and there's the bomb sound effect there.
Yeah.
A cohesive storyline is that so Satan starts, he's manning the booth, and maybe by 2006, 2005, like he starts getting these two demon girls who are his arm candy, and then they start manning the booth. Because Satan is now like the man. He's up in a mansion. He's separate. So you have these two demon girls, and they have their own kind of personalities and stories. And the general, the pink one named Fuchsia, is kind of breaking out. She's found consciousness. She doesn't want to torture people anymore. She's found the love of books by this nerdy kid. This nerdy kid she's developed a relationship with him, and she started painting. I don't know if that's this point yet, but whatever. She's a painter. Yeah. So good chick forward. Yeah. So there's kind of a, let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. This is it. This is the turn. So for the last month, he's been drawing comics where Slick, his stand-in for himself, has gotten heartbroken. There's no real source of the heartbreak, but just like there's all these comics representing heartbreak. And this is the first introduction of the sisterhood, where you have this girl who's on this big wheel trike, and she just rides past people, drops like wokeness, rad fam like wokeness, and just rides off. So can you zoom in at all with this? Probably not. I think I just squinted when I was reading it. Fuck. Okay. So this is Monique doing her like normal thing. Bare midriff, patriarchally sanctioned fashion trope that encourages objectification of women. This has been a consciousness raising message from the sisterhood. Power to the oppressed. Stay strong, sister.
I like it.
So
good.
the next bit of time, he has this continues here. Yeah. So this is Slick doing his normal like misandry stuff. Is he bothering you a little bit? Then I'll bother him a little bit. So his audience starts going like getting whiplash here, because this is like right out of nowhere, and
No
you
man's
can
funny.
read it out loud if you like.
There's nothing wrong with admiring the female
No
female
mansplaining.
form. No mansplaining. Mansplaining?
You're awash with male privilege and heteronormative assumptions about gender performity.
Hetero what?
Heteronormative assumptions about gender performity. In English, please.
In
Look
English,
it up,
please.
dude, bro.
Rise of the dude, bro.
Yeah.
Click next. Go next. There we go. Oh, it's an ad.
And then she leaves Rad Femme lit on his stack of books.
Sappho,
Beauvoir, and Bell Hooks.
Bell Hooks. Nice.
So Monique researches the sisterhood. Welcome, Nick. We've been waiting for you. If you want to know about the patriarchy, what it does, how it works, how deep the rabbit hole goes, very well, take the red pill and see for yourself. So, actual Matrix homage here. That's actually played straight. So she takes the red pill, and the patriarchy is represented as the falling letters, but in the form of words. And so like she starts seeing them, like the things that represent her like the way she interacts with the world, her skankiness, is like these words flow down of like skank, whore, bitch, know your place, oh, you're just object. And she starts like feeling like, like, oh, this burns, so fast forward to that last where we left off, where she's shaving her head, or at least giving herself somewhat of a buzz cut. She buzzes her head
like the undercut. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, he's using the red pill the way it was actually first intended, long before the people had to come back and correct all these people who have appropriated it.
So he uses this over and over again, and he'll come up with the TERF stuff. And
so I see all the.
So when somebody's called a TERF, the words will, like, the matrix will appear, and the words will say, like, the things that TERFs think about themselves, like that they're like, know your place, don't, this isn't woke. Da, da, da. So it gets turned around a bit, but at the same time, it's like consistent with. So it's like, hussy, tart, don't, vamp, diva, skank, and she's like, oh my God, it's everywhere. Are you good in bed? And then she rides by.
Wow.
This is the patriarchy, a social interactive construct that bombards us with misogyny. It's a program of domination that permeates society at all levels: the workplace, school, home. And it keeps people locked in rigid gender roles, an untenable situation that leads to discontent, alienation. But most people can't see the patriarchy. They're too immersed. Until they are freed, they are agents of the system, colluders. Am I a colluder? Everyone is. But you're awake now. You can see.
Ooh.
So feminazi, like these are the words that follow her around, basically.
Wow.
And get that ad blocker, man.
Yeah, I definitely need one. Just never got around to it.
Okay, so you have the sisterhood, who there's like 5 of them, and there's also a grandma who's a witch, and it's weird that he represents these 2 witches as being counter to Satan, but they're like the ultimate in feminists. And you have the sisterhood, and they basically follow tropes, like one's the tech hacker and one's the mechanic who makes the vehicles, the sick ass big wheels. and then you have Zanning Justice, which I think is the first one's name.
Okay.
And they basically do propaganda of the deed against Satan, who has switched modes to being the overall oppressor. So he also starts making comics. And by the way, he goes into arcs now where like they will be first 20 strips a piece, then 50, then 60. So the actual length of a comic book. So a
Mm-hmm.
year's content is really just like 4 or 5 stories.
Sure.
Meta stories almost. So but interrupted with jokes and one-offs.
Yeah, yeah.
So the years tick by fast. I've been reading most of it for the last week or so. And I really enjoyed it. But what's unenjoying about it is that, like real life, if you're conscious enough, you just feel this like Chapo puts it this way, that everything stays the same but gets a little worse every year. That's kind of what it feels like reading this comic, where the sisterhood's doing propaganda of the deed. They're kind of trying to free people, make people awoke. It's
Mm-hmm.
funny. He uses the same terminology that then becomes evil because with each year that passes, and each successful terrorist attack or a few women that they free from the clutches of basically capitalism, but patriarchy. Um, the Satan and the system responds by clamping down harder. There's this place he uses. He used it as a joke piece, like in the past, called the reality zone. So like
Mm-hmm.
whenever a character of his like walked into it, they would get like super realistic, and he would be able to make jokes about that. Reality zone is where characters go, and they like basically get they also get some consciousness out of it. For example, he in 2012 he brings in the fembots, so they're just basically fembots,
Sure.
and when they're brought to the reality zone, they can go on autopilot, so they're freed from bondage. After 5 years, in 2015 or so, after like the fourth time that a fembot is brought to the reality zone to go on autopilot,
Mm-hmm.
he walls off reality. He builds the
Oh.
wall. He does that, and I think that's in 2016 when it becomes
Ah, when
when
it
Trump
became a
starts running for
trope. Yeah.
president and build the wall. So he builds the
Hmm.
wall, and there's jokes about that. So it gets a little worse. Like the drones get more serious each time. Like for the first few next years, the drones get destroyed all over the place. Smash the surveillance state. But he keeps making the drones stronger. They get force fields. They become zap and arrow proof and whatever. And then he starts making like pimp drones, and there's different types of drones, hats that brainwash people, blah blah blah. Over and over. And let's see. His real turf turn starts June of 2019. I took
Okay.
note of this. If we're gonna go through an arc, but I have specific ones to point out. They're recent
Sure.
ones, the turf ones basically. But I just want to get through like
So
how the transition's made. So
is it
in
2019?
yeah, 2019, you can go there. It's actually pretty illuminating. So up to this point, there's a little bit of anti-capitalism. There's a few panels, days worth of comics where Satan goes to the 1% who are this board. So Satan isn't the 1%. He actually acts as the manager of the system for the 1%. And so, right. Oh, this is perfect. So this is the sisterhood. They have their own booth. You notice that their main message is gender equals sexism. Because in this year, Satan has switched gears. The next rotation of oppression and how is the system is reacting to the sisterhood's terrorism? Because basically that's pretty much all they've done: direct action and propaganda by the deed. Because as far as a centrist goes, this is what opposing the system takes the form of. Not organizing, just direct action, tabling.
Table.
So how's it going? Same. The gender matrix is shifting, though. More colorful, more choicey, more market-driven, less public safeguards. It's getting the full neoliberal treatment. So this is
So I
the
see
beginning of
the blending of
yeah.
woke capitalism with, or the conflation of woke capitalism with intersectionality. Gotcha.
There's intersectionality because
Mm-hmm.
until this point there has been no intersectionality, though a little bit here and there
Mm-hmm.
actually, but not a lot. Certainly not like a deeper understanding. It's like this is just like most people on the right or center. It just hit them straight on, and this was their way of understanding it. Like they had to put it through their pre-existing lens, whatever that was.
Mm-hmm.
So for a right winger, it just gets fit through the satanic, Illuminati plot, which is sort of how he frames everything, but he's doing it satirically. The Illuminati is just Satan and whatever, and the drones look like triangle eyeballs. So but they've always been that way. So it's hard to know where the satire begins and what he really thinks
Mm-hmm.
begins. But it's kind of both. It's always both, which is kind of where I'll repeat my hypothesis that like all satire is just unhelpful when it comes to raising consciousness. Consciousness, like satire, just reinforces existing biases.
It certainly can. Like bad satire, is seen by both the people that
Yeah.
it's supposed to be satirizing and the people that are supposed to be in on the joke as being on their side. It's like Stephen Colbert. Both
Yeah.
liberals and conservatives thought that he was
I
speaking
don't-
for them.
well, you say that's good satire, and then like, well, then
No, I say that's
what
bad
is-
satire because it doesn't
that's
actually
bad
do
satire.
anything.
Well, I like to be proven wrong and be shown good satire that wasn't just reinforcing whoever's viewing its existing biases. Because it seems like that goes with good satire too, where when it's good satire, you'll still have neo-Nazis. Like, good example, They Live, which comes up later here. He uses They Live imagery. And They Live, neo-Nazis love They Live. They see the aliens as being Jews.
Mm-hmm.
So to them, it's just as good satire.
Right. That's a fair point. Let's see. Malcolm Gladwell had a podcast for a while, and say what you will about him, I think his episode on satire was pretty good, and he talked about some actual good satire that it was unambiguous, and it was Israeli satire that was pointing out the hypocrisy of the Israeli state, and yeah, so I think that's a potential.
Was it effective?
candidate.
Was it effective?
I don't know that I don't know how effective it actually ended up being, but
So yeah, so you notice this is not buying it number 5. So this is like the start of the new arc, the beginning of it. So the next few panels, you can go forward and you can see the. So he introduces the woke zombie, which never existed before this. It was just there was no. I thought there would be more of a transition, but really it is just literally like
just
at the
boom.
beginning of this arc, it was all like regular like industrialist Satan building a bigger factory after it's bombed, and now he sells gender, and now it's woke because I think he's tried to paint the sisterhood as terrorists, and I guess that hasn't been effective. So he drowns them out, so it's like, so it scroll down. So now it's like the church. So this was the church of porn. So lots of anti-porn, by the way, and sex worker, but really just porn. The consumption of it is the evil.
The Germanic
so
rune for chaos as their symbol.
Yeah, right.
But it's feminist, yeah. And now
it's the church of gender.
So it's gender non-conforming as chaos. Okay.
Well, it's gender conforming, really. So it's even though it's both gender non-conforming and equals gender conforming.
Okay.
So this is the mind of the centrist who's a radfem.
Gotcha.
That we're looking into here.
Gotcha.
So this was the church of porn, and literally Slick will be like in the next year comes in like, hey, wasn't this the church of porn? And and he also, by the way, just so you're ready for it, after a few seasons worth, there's this there's a red light district with prostitution. In his world, prostitution's completely legal, and it's evil, of course, which is fine in capitalism. But really, it's seen as in his world, it's an evil as itself, and it seems totally legal actually. So, like, what are you gonna do? Make it illegal? What are the goals of the sisterhood? They raise consciousness sometimes. They attack things directly. They never seem to get anywhere. Um, but it's not a satire of their tactics somehow. It's just, I think it's more like that's all they have. That's all you can do.
Hmm.
And that's what's truly terrifying about this worldview. Please turn to the book of pronouns. He queried the stranger thusly, "By what dost pronouns thou abide?" "They them," quoth the stranger, "for I am Legion." And lo, it was Satan himself. Themself. Oh right, sorry, Satan. Funnily enough, so there's a strip club called the Hellhole, and the bouncer's name is Legion.
Ah,
So and
okay.
suddenly, oh yeah, because Legion is called from the strip club to be like a bodyguard for his son who moves into the mansion with him. And by the way, moving to Satan's mansion is a metaphor for like being in the upper class. You don't need, like, you're working for Satan, but it's not exploitative. Like the two arm candy girls, Blue and Fuchsia, like they work in the mansion, but Fuchsia runs away and becomes a painter, so she's replaced with a green devil girl named Absinthe or Abby, and she's just cute and kind and doesn't really want to torture anybody, but like she just does her job as the booth babe, literally called the booth babe. Come on, do you remember booth babes?
No.
Okay. Oh, and before Elevator Gate, when gaming was truly a man's paradise, gaming conventions, all the companies had like scantily clad women, basically as showgirls at all of the booths, and they were called the booth babes.
I had no idea. Never heard
And
that.
and it's interesting that when wokeness hits, they stopped doing it.
Huh.
So there was, in fact, less exploitation of women in gaming.
Uh-huh.
And though it's shifted maybe, or I mean, it's always there on the workers' side of things, at least it isn't like in the advertising space as well, where
Sure.
you had all these women being eye candy.
Sure.
And that was like the year or so before Gamergate, and that was probably one of those things where it's like, this is the last straw. They took the booth babes. They made gaming less sexy, and it isn't catering to me. So this is Slick, by the way. This is what Slick is. So Slick
Okay.
is interesting in that he spends the last 6 years of the comic, like after the switch to Radfem, to trying to be better. Like he gets a cookie, for being an ally. But there's this other theme in the comic where when people get consciousness from the tree of knowledge, and I guess that's the only place. So if you get it from someone else, it's false consciousness. But it's
Okay.
not like said that way. But because he eats the apple, and it kind of sometimes, I guess, if someone's like pretty like bad, it brings out their demon in them, or they become like, in this case, his demon is like his reflection. In others, like Monique, it's her shadow that comes out like when she's mad at men because she's getting tomatoed for. Oh, by the way, so like I said, Monique is a beat poet. When the comic goes Radfem, she starts
Mm-hmm.
being basically a feminist, and her beat poetry becomes feminine, like vagina monologues, and she gets
Okay.
a lot of hate and so on. Yeah, so just keep rolling with it.
Sure.
Thank you for Demon Marcus. so he bought some oppression perfume. Yeah, a lot of them will make you go, So this is Abby
Yeah.
working the booth. And by the way, her and Monique have a relationship. How goes the capitalism? Really good, actually. Business is booming. I have already reached my monthly quota. Oh, I'm so happy for you. But we still have to destroy the system, okay? Next. So it's like, so what's the top selling item? Let me guess. War. Right now it's gender. We just had a big rollout of gender products. They're super popular. Gender, you mean this stuff? It's like the shift in the Matrix. I guess, but new and improved. It's still war on women.
Oh, jeez.
So there you have it.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, the perfume is called Depression.
Right. So it makes them smell like sadness.
Yes,
And
pitiful sadness.
Okay.
To make people feel bad for him. Because it's the
Okay.
Oppression Olympics, right?
Gotcha.
So by the way, he does like full color Sunday comics. So now you have patriarchy on the left and patriarchy on the right. So you have new gender, fembot, boof, a gender X with like the pharmacy, and he starts including these handmaidens as being like the Handmaid's Tale, and they're sex workers. So it's like the new like the to after being kind of disrupted for the fifth time by the sisterhood, the sex district has now been kind of reconfigured to be handmaidens. But one of them has basically been brain broken, and so she's like a woke zombie, but she has the eyes of one anyway. But she's just like her brain's broken. She doesn't give a shit, and she loses her face. You know, her mask of like being like, yes, this is a choice for me. You know, so she's just a lot of fun. Really bad at her job. Makes you wonder why she isn't fired or done away with. But so you have right wing, gender classic, and new gender. It's all patriarchy. All patriarchy.
All patriarchy, as far as I can see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, even with this woke or enlightened centrist take, it still seems like the left is a little less scary and oppressive.
Well, there's a woke zombie with an axe. I mean, and he's gonna.
Right, but is that as scary as
women.
like freaking shock troops in full body armor? I don't know.
Well,
I would say not.
You know,
but...
this is 2016, so give it a few years. The shock troopers will be there on both sides.
Okay.
So, but it's all male fantasy, you know, when she puts the glasses on. By the way, the sisterhood have glasses. They're like the They Live glasses.
Yeah, so they see the truth.
Help you see or block it out.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I think we could skip ahead now to recent stuff.
Right.
This was the turn. There's obviously more that happens in the 4 years, but it's done, you know, go forward enough and it'll just be interweaving timelines. So go to January 23rd of this year.
January 23rd. All right.
This is the Fallen State arc. So this is now that the, you know, the January 6th riot has occurred, you know,
Okay.
and so like the security state, the woke security state has gone into full, you know, full dystopia.
Is he anti-vax as well? Is that what this snake coiling up the Washington Monument is supposed to symbolize?
It does go that way. Yes.
Wonderful.
Though, you know, it's the type where, like, he doesn't make fun of there being a pandemic, but he'll obviously satirize that Satan will still be outside when nobody else is, and so on. So like, he'll like acknowledge that the pandemic is bad, but that, you know, cure what the man does or the system, because the system is managing the pandemic. It's still like just a tool. It's just another crisis for the system to take advantage of people and assert more control, which is how most people, whether they be any kind of rad lib or centrist, views the pandemic that way.
Hmm.
Whether it be the vax or and this goes for new agers and so on.
So we have we the corporations of the world, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common
I think it's the regular.
defense,
It's the regular text, but it's just we the corporation.
promote, yeah, blah 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 blah.
He's not that
Do
creative,
ordain and establish the terms of service. Yeah.
Yeah, terms of service. Yeah.
Uh huh.
Plague doctor on the Capitol.
Joker.
No. This is the woker.
Oh, the woker. Oh, gotcha.
So lots of jokes that he's made and turned into things.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so Monique is now in the devil's Satan's mansion. I forget how she got there, but she's there. Abby brought her there because they're friends. And and I think she needed to get out of the streets because of the chaos that occurred after, because the second half of 2020 is all just riots and kind of basically riot shaming, even though it's like exactly the kind of direct action that the sisterhood would take. But the like most rad femmes, they were like, but it's the wrong target. The target, like, oh, women are blamed instead of the man, instead of the system. Like, everyone's sick of 2020. It helps that he personifies the year, which I've left out in my explanations because it only didn't matter. But it started as a running gag so he could pad out the year, where at the beginning of the year he would have a baby, father time, like, the new year as a baby being brought by the stork, and something funny would happen to the stork or the baby. And then at the end of the year, old man time, the year has aged and death kills him in some way. Which is like, and there's always a chase, and it's like a joke chase, and it always ends with the year getting killed in a firework.
Gotcha.
So, but in 2020, and this is before the pandemic started, but he already had it in his story that in 2020, the Satan shoots the stork and takes baby time and raises it and basically says, it's our year now. And so, like, Abby tells, so it's, by the way, it's lady time now. And Monique is like, well, what's Lady Time doing in all the ads for the Devil Corp stuff? And like Abby says, oh, we raised her. She's ours now. And she's like, what? And it's like, and so for the rest of the year, she has like free 2020 shirt on, and leads protests. But then the protests are like, they're looking at the ads with Lady Time, and it's like, I hate 2020. Yeah, fuck 2020. We gotta this is all her fault. And then the sisterhood girl, which you've barely seen in the last 2 years, is like, oh, they're always going after blaming the women. So anyway, she's in the mansion. So it's like, so she had, her shadow is like a devil girl, but it's more not separate. It's just her dark side. So, but obviously she's squeeing over Satan in his prime. So there'll be a few panels of this happening.
Sure.
So you have Tange and Little E, son of the devil. They're basically prep students now.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is their first day going to the prep school. So that guy there, that's Legion. He used to be the bouncer at the club. Those are the drones.
Ah, gotcha.
I know. Unfortunately, he kind of weaves the character story stuff into his. It'll get to the part where, well, I guess I picked this arc because it's kind of a good recap of where his story is at this part. So they lived in an old neighborhood, and because of the riots, they're now full of crime. And they are criminals. They've been doing a lot of criminal stuff, but it doesn't matter because you know, she's a friend of the Satan's son. But we're white collar criminals. We do classy crimes. So this is Blue. She's the deputy of Satan and kind of just likes being in charge, but is also pretty sad because she was friends with Fuchsia, the pink one who does portraits. Little Sammy's been canceled. So he had characters Uncle Sam and Liberty, who were a couple, and he would represent their relationship as being like whatever he felt about America. So Uncle Sam is a genocidal, warmongering maniac who loves porn, and Liberty would be like in a bad relationship with him, basically trying to make him better, but eventually leaving him, and that's part of his. When he makes the turn to being Rad Femme, Liberty leaves him. So she's her own character with her own storyline of sorts. But anyway, so now it's time. But Sammy has been dead. He's canceled. So now it's up to our panel of celebrity judges to determine who will be the next American icon. Woke TV. Bomb. So when I first I was just reading the last year to get a sense of the TERFnet, but I didn't understand any of this. So I literally went back a decade so I could understand all these references.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Bomb being
so there's this high class school. So demons are a part of his world. Like demons are basically anyone who's corrupted by Satan and are part of the system. But it's also anyone who's, it's weird. It's both like in this case, it's people who are part of the system and they're upper class. But it's also people enter the system by being like sex workers. So you have the strip club, and it's populated by demon girls who eventually want to work at the mansion. But, gotta work their way up. But they're basically there because they took the offer from Satan of they gave their soul to Satan for fame or money, a job. Yeah. So there's the bomb where bombing is demonizes something, and Tangerine's the girls with the pigtails. Her first arc is just because she's a feral demon girl, she just bombs people stuff at random, and just loves it. She's bombing a frog, and the frog has horns. It's like horny toad, it's just bombing stuff. So it's both a synonym for fuck because the red light district is called the bomb district.
Okay.
But it's also just, I don't know, it's just fun. So I guess this isn't really the TERF stuff, but and this is one of the things he does. This is calligraphy 63. Every few months he'll do this calligraphy where he draws a panel of a comic and then he kind of transitions it into a kanji for it. So I didn't understand this when I saw it, but he does this pretty frequently. 63, so it's its own separate thing.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah. So the drone going around and they scold people. Safety violation. Please fix your face covering. Thank you. You may now proceed. So apparently this is within the prep school. Don't ask why. It gets weird. So social ranking. Masculine non-compliance -20. Bath non-compliance -40. Prison insurrection. So this was in a previous arc. He did a prison break.
Okay.
You have been demoted to social class drags. Hell yeah, drags for life.
That's so funny when right-wingers complain about social credit scores when we have credit scores that determine so much of our life.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. It's not in the prep school. The face covering shooter is in the bad neighborhood that's full of crime because of the riots of 2020.
Okay.
Or 2021. I guess it's weird. I guess I need to reread 2021, but it's basically kind of a repeat. because some years he'll just kind of repeat what's happening, but in a different form, of course. So yeah, so I guess I just want like this is a good sense of like where his story is at, but otherwise not too. You'll know. I just wanted to show like it's not all TERF all the time.
Yeah, no.
But here's some
Definitely
anti-vax
has
stuff where like the
several
drone
stories,
has a shot, jabby, safe and effective, just the tip. And they also do kind of allegories with the fembots where in I don't know if it's 2019 when he does the TERF or event or like. So here's the new year. Here's 2022, and he's brought to the woke gender church. So you have the handmaidens, baptism, putting the collar on it. So so like the pimp like was a pimp bot, but basically the church leader is also the pimp.
Okay. Gotcha.
The Church of Gender is actually just new management of the porn church.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of why. So it shows some of the more like the general humor and stuff before it gets to the really turfy stuff. Woke Olympics. Walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
Synchronized canceling. Privilege. I'm sorry. It's sort of okay jokes, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
We can laugh at ourselves.
Sure.
Especially if we're laughing at woke capitalism, but I know. So it's hard to know, like, is he making these jokes seriously? Like, this is what he really thinks about anyone who's online, or just maybe woke Twitter, which is like this, and people being performative. So it's also the mind of maybe someone else who's just online all the time,
right?
And how they view the world, not actually acting politically. Otherwise, I think would he still be a centrist if he interacted with the real world?
If he touched grass once in a while,
if he touched grass,
as the kids say, yeah.
And there's also Banff books that are demon books. In Soviet Russia, book burn you. So she'll make really funny puns like that. Really great character, Tangerine. Oh yeah, and I got really confused where Tangerine will have this hoodie that she got like in 2012 or something.
Okay.
And the hoodie has like a tail portion that covers her tail. So she has a demon tail, right? Like any other demon girl. But wearing this hoodie makes it look like she has a cat tail.
Oh.
So like so for a bunch of panels, like I'm like, why does she have a cat tail
instead?
But with devil horns, she has a devil tail. It's just that she wears like a hoodie. So today's lesson: how to subjugate the masses. Step 1. Ooh, I know. You bump them, shock and awe, bump. So she's going off of the old system of the aughts where you invade and you occupy with war, but now you don't do it with war, you do it with woke capitalism,
banking, fractional
reserve
yeah.
bank.
Merging man with machine, it will make more efficient. More productive, more punctual. Yeah, I'm not going to read the last part.
But the point is, transhumanism is also part of the, ruling class's plans for us. So transhumanism is also, and transgenderism is, and gender ideology is part of all that.
Yeah.
So I picked this to go through. It outlines his ideology the most, and both how much of a mess it is, but also where is it coming from. So he's looking for Banff 101 because he can't Banff. He doesn't Banff very well. He was a disappointment to his father. That's why he was kept in a separate place. And he spent the first half of the comic, the aughts, basically trying to get his approval by being hateful and trying to get on people. But now he just wants to please his dad because he got amnesia. and but he could bomp, and there's a little that comes out of his hand, and so Satan's like, oh, he is going to grow into it eventually, so they're doing advanced soul harvesting. So he's looking for Bomp 101. So that's why he's like that. Okay, so this here is just for context, this is a former sex worker who got out of the life.
Okay.
And she's being chased by the Vax.
By drone bots.
But no,
Or
drones with
bots,
the Vax, yeah.
Drones with the Vax, yeah.
Yeah. And she's been chased to, I guess that's the... Oh, no, that's not... that is the house of... This is like a witch. Ultimate witch. So, yeah, let's skip ahead. This is enough of that. Okay. Go ahead to back to the archive, August 7th.
All right, August 7th. Okay, kids playing.
So the girl with so go ahead.
Yeah.
So the girl with purple hair there is a reoccurring character named Squee, literally Squee.
Squee.
She's Squee. She was a fan of Monique. So anyway, just kids at a playground.
Gotcha. And then what's coming up? So Reddit, Twitter, the internet is getting in the way of their childhood.
Yeah, and it's also like a strip club.
Yeah.
So these are called Playground. And it's not too long.
Adventures, click here. Okay, so yeah, children are playing online instead of...
Want to be a grown-up? Yeah. Whoa, I'm a stud. Grown-up adventure, like driving and staying up late? Hell yeah. Don't click, it's a trap, but stud. Look at the manufacturer. Double tap. It's the devil.
Gotcha.
Satan?
Yeah.
So you have a grown-up avatar. Control the avatar, move your own body. Woohoo! I'm a grown-up. Now this could almost apply to any kind of gaming. The kids who play Fortnite,
Sure.
I'm a grown-up. I could eat all the candy because that's what you oh, but what's the... She thinks she's getting what she's really getting. So also, the president is a lizard, but he also finally in the last arc that we'll look at, the president will be Biden. But at this point, the president is a lizard.
Gotcha.
You can skip those. You can skip
the IRS.
These are one-offs. There's a few
IRS
more playground after
okay.
Yeah, to level up, act grown up. So she thinks, I like broccoli and brushing my teeth. The more grown up you act, the more you level up. So,
Oh, so now you can choose anything. Okay.
Be anyone.
So you broke the machine. You're welcome. Oh God. Butt candy.
When he first gets into the grooming. So this is kind of I was introduced to this comic, or reintroduced, in a Facebook feed where they were showing one of the panels with the basically update. So now, instead of being sex bots, they're kind of the enforcers of the new gender order. So join the woke army, raid homes, confiscate property. I already do that. So in another 10 days, August 27th, that's when his latest arc starts. So you can either skip ahead or keep going forward.
Sure.
He was bullied, he was harassed, and anime porn. You're exactly what we're looking for.
So you said, what day?
August 27th.
August 27th. Okay.
So basically, the last month is the new arc. So having dated the Green Devil Girl, this is Monique here. She is now an out lesbian, which I guess explains why she never dated Slick. But she was always being like, if not radically shown, but talking about all the men in her life and how he dated all the time. But they were never right for her. So I guess she was always a lesbian. But anyway, she goes to the non-bonery lesbian bar. And who's there but trans females?
Trans women.
Men posing as
really men,
women, saying they're lesbians.
Shock. Horror.
Lesbians. Also, whenever non-binary is shown, he also shows a furry and a baby. So,
okay.
as in, this is just another fetish, or
oh, sure, okay.
It's all male fantasy.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So she says, "No man."
Settling man. I'm a woman. You don't have the right chromosomes or whatever, and gets kicked out for being a TERF. Okay.
All right, Sally Forth. So it's a lot less funny. I'll agree with you. But this is now we're in like this is an actual TERF arc. So
okay,
taking all this last hours just to get here. So but this is one of the handmaidens who's like paid to, compliment, and what is it? Oh yeah, there's like a whole arc where it's just the sex workers, or rather the handmaidens, who they don't really do sex acts anymore. They validate identities. So they stroke go, and it's like, oh yes, you're so brave. You're so brave for being you, and so on. And that's what being woke is like.
See, okay, welcome. You kick me out, but let in men and straight couples? We're not straight. We're queer. Puppy, what a cute baby. Oh, okay.
Like it's like Pride, It's there's Pride. Which, by the way, he does make a kink at Pride joke where it's like, "Whoa, this is hell." This is the woke cops.
Child driving, misgendering in progress. Oh, okay.
Now he's on the case.
Right.
Report hate, fight bigotry. Feel free to read it out loud unless you want me to.
Oh, sure. Report. Yeah, okay. Bash, fast, punch, Nazi, kill, TERF.
Your account's been flagged.
Your account's been flagged for TERF activity. Oh, no. Good news. You may now question masking.
You may now question social distancing and vaccine efficacy. Yay, freedom. Can I question trans ideology? No.
No. Amazing woman.
Woman bitten by radioactive vagina haver, endowed with the powers of she/her.
Woman man. Does whatever a woman can. Wears a dress, feels cute, punches TERFs for speaking truth. Hey, now here comes woman man.
Now what's totally like weird about that is when he's in his rad femme phase in the early 20-teens, he literally makes a joke where Squee's writing a comic about Vagina Man, where he's bitten by a radioactive vagina, and now does whatever a vagina can. So lots happened since then, obviously. But so yeah.
So penis equals woman, vagina equals man, vax and slicing equals good.
That's a stand-in for transitioning.
Yeah, that's what I was guessing. So she's saying, "Oh, penis equals man, vagina equals woman," and then Twitter puts the Twitter spotlight on her and blocks her account. Oh no!
She goes
She's
to
the sign of freedom. I don't know all these ones. I suppose these alternative social media.
These are all the alt-right social media places.
Cool,
I mean,
I'm
you
sure.
can you at least recognize the frog, right?
I recognize the frog as Pepe, but I don't know if what that's associated with. And it's really, I mean,
It's meant to be Pepe.
I know, but I like Twitch has kind of reappropriated that for the left as well. So that's not entirely.
Whatever,
I
man.
know.
You think this guy follows all the different rules and shit? He doesn't. He
sure.
keeps it fast and loose. And this is the first time he's created. This is the first appearance of this Freedom District.
Okay.
But or maybe I did skip 2021 actually, so maybe he did establish it. But sometimes he just throws things in
Sure.
willy nilly. So you have the two handmaidens. One of them
That's
is like this. I don't, and one of them is like brain broken, but like funny.
Don't go in there. That's the bad place.
That's the bad place, full of racists and bigots. Come back to the good side. The good side kicked me out for telling the truth. Just obey, and they'll let you back in.
Meme shop, eek a frog. Kiss me, princess, and I'll become a handsome prince. Okay, sounds legit. Smooch. Oh.
Feels familiar.
Good, yeah.
Feels good, man.
Uh-huh.
It's got whatever.
Yeah. What you doing? The girl went to the bad place, unsupervised. Oh no. They'll destroy, turn into a hateful bigot like them. Hateful bigot? A mindless zombie with no
No. She's not
individuality.
asking a question. She just said hateful bigot.
Oh, hateful
Mindless
bigot.
zombie with no
Mindless
individuality.
zombie,
No individuality.
No,
Bad.
sad. Yeah.
She has this, so that's like the zombie eye.
Sure.
Like the woke
Yeah.
zombie.
Now the President of the United States, ahem, burn the mammals. Burn the mammals, burn the mammals. Not all mammals, just the extreme ones. Okay.
You laughed.
I did.
The dark Brandon.
Oh,
so
the
now you actually have.
Oh no.
We're into this month, by the way. So
What direction should I take the country in? And it flips unity and healing or chaos and perversion. Oh great.
he's Two-Face.
Yeah. Yeah, I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. A place you can speak and nobody cares who is offended. No NPCs. Back. A whole new world. This is the Freedom District, I'm assuming.
Yep.
So here we go. To Arkham Asylum. Okay, so yeah, leaning into it further.
Again, it goes back and forth between what the characters do and
Yeah.
what he just wants to make a satirical thing on the day's news. So, by the way, he's represented the Legion of Groom. That's it, the Legion of Groom.
Legion of
so instead
Groom.
of Legion of Doom, it's Legion of Groom.
Okay.
Bunch of puns based on DC villains.
Yeah. So the Woker. The diddler, I'm guessing, is that
Diddler.
one. Yeah.
And they're the school board. So when these parents go to complain about porn in a blowjob in a school book, which was a real story,
Kind of, yeah.
they get thrown out of the school board meeting.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. Asma futa. Let me repeat that in my sexy whisper voice. Dim the house lights, please. Asma futa. Okay. I don't know what that's referring to.
Biden's speech, I assume.
I guess
Like
just
the
being
lights are kinda
incoherent.
dim.
Okay.
So this is Monique back in the Freedom District.
Restroom shirt hun down the hall. Woo, vintage. Sausage and eggs. Oh,
Way vintage.
haha.
Which
Way
you will
vintage.
find in, small
Oh,
town
yes.
diners. So it's like
Absolutely.
going in the past, but also just, well, you're not in woke cities anymore,
Moves like MAGA, Maroon 45.
That's the only
Ooh,
two
that's my
songs.
jam. Got the moves like MAGA. Got the moves like MAGA. Hello, fellow MAGAs. We gotta take back our country. Take up arms. Blow shit up. Bang, bang. Let's go. Fed. Fed. They're calling Fed on him. Okay.
He's got a wire.
This place is so creepy. Full of creepy frogs. And lizards. And snakes.
And snakes.
Yeah, the Gadsden flag. Yeah.
So he's still centrist. Everybody's wrong. Everybody's dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting place. You're not from around here. So Monique says, I'm politically homeless.
My side has gone full fascist. Oh my
Fascist.
god.
Well, then you've come to the right place. We're only semi-fascist.
Okay, so what do we got here? We got the MAGA shop with pure blood, 1776, and then the.
I believe these handmaids do
Handmaids.
not have names, though.
Oh, okay.
The one with the funky eye should have a name because she's practically her own character, but she
Sure.
doesn't get a name. She's
Trump
just I
doll.
just call her. Oh yeah, but she has one of the ways the sisterhood wakes people up is, or at least an arc, they put fruit of the apples from the tree of knowledge and they put them into cupcakes and pies. And the sisterhood has, their booth. They give out free refreshments to women only, which is, a rad femme thing to do. You give them out to the most oppressed people first. And so she went by and grabbed one of the cupcakes and was eating them, and she was like, "Whoa!" And but then the pimp zapped it out of her hand, and she like went crazy, and that's why she's kind of brain broken. So she's actually conscious. That's what makes her kind of, but she's both half brainwashed, half conscious. So I guess that's why her eyes are both kind of like different.
Oh, she's got the different eyes. Okay.
Yeah, so like one half is like conscious, the other half is brainwashed.
Zombie. Sure. She puts on the glasses of truth and she sees herself as a Wheeljack. She's talking about terrorism. We didn't see what it looked like beforehand, but okay.
Is that the real neo-Nazis, they're feds. Get it?
Oh, that's the earpiece. Okay, gotcha.
They're feds. The
Now
ones
that
that
makes sense.
are actual neo-Nazis, they're actually feds.
Sure.
The rest of
So
the
they're
freedom-loving
just,
people,
they're just trying to push
they're just one
regular
side,
folks. Ah, gotcha.
which is what occurred with the woke zombies.
That makes sense now.
Yeah, so it's like Nazis, boo. I don't like them. I don't think they're real Nazis. I think they're FBI agents. So she goes, FBI equals police equals cops. All cops are bastards. White supremacists, therefore FBI, are Nazis. Boo! which is what we believe, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, but probably for a little bit different reason. Yeah. Okay.
Bash the fash, bash, bash. Attention. A current domestic terror level is semi-fascist. Semi-bash, semi-bash. Because we're
because of Biden's
Antifa
speech there.
are woke zombies.
Yeah. My fellow Americans, we must invade Magistan, remove its evil dictator, and seize their weapons of mass destruction. Either you're with us or you're with the terrorists. Hail to the thief. Oh, God.
By the way, I want to mention, though, he has made Trump jokes, but not where Trump is the president. There's never been a president. This is the first time he's actually put in, like, the president. Because he's always used metaphor, like he's had an Uncle Sam character represent America.
Sure.
He has Trump jokes, but, like, only in the form of a drone who's, like, made orange. And so he's, like, the Trump drone. He makes Trump jokes with that drone. So it's really
Interesting.
it's fun. It's interesting that now he chooses to like bring in Biden
Right.
being
Biden
two-faced
was the final straw. He just
and
had to say something.
being is now he's part of the system here. Oh, family values. I know that guy. He's a customer. Hey, John. By the
Oh.
way, there's where it's pretty funny where she's recorded saying like, because when she like breaks, you know, her consciousness kind of breaks. She goes like, "I hate the Johns. I hate them. Oh, they're such creeps." and so it's like it's pretty funny because she just keeps repeating creep, creep, creep. So the girls are managed by pimp hats now, but there is a pen, but just as they're like they're pimp drones. So like they
Gotcha.
get before they were able to free some of the sex workers because they were unsupervised all the time. So now they are. So it's like with each few women that the sisterhood frees, you know, in this case it's these two are kind of being, you know, waved out of the life. Security just gets, you know, put up aggressively.
Gotcha.
Gets doubled down. So this is well, I mean, the next one's I think the latest, but this is now in the bad play. They're in the bad.
Yeah,
place.
the irony of putting Truth Social in the freedom of speech column.
I think this isn't exactly it, but
Bash fast, pimp mode activated. Get them hoes. Jeez.
So and there's the last one. So
okay, so
they're wearing the pimp hats.
So that explains the hats. Okay.
Yeah.
And they see the manga guys.
And now they're about to fight.
They're about to fight.
Oh no! They fight them by recording them on their phones.
And then putting Nazi stuff over them? Or, I don't know.
No. That's their flags.
That's just their flags. Okay.
They're just taking pictures of them to
okay.
record them. Because we don't Antifa, we don't actually fight, we just record.
Just record.
and then they pose for them.
Okay.
Because, you know, they're not actually meant to do fascism. They're there to give people the impression that there are these right wingers who are scary.
Sure.
As it's all the same machine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Fed earpiece. Sure.
I hope you've had enough of this because I think we've done this.
I think we get the gist of
it. I apologize if any viewers, if we have any left. I don't see anyone commenting, so we might have.
We got 4 left. There's 4 people hanging on.
Oh,
so
okay. Thank you for.
People are hanging on through most of it. So
we were now wash the taste of that out of our mouth.
Yeah, right. No, it was definitely.
So you can give your thoughts up.
Yeah, definitely an interesting comic. I think I will go back and just take a look at it more because it's interesting to see that thought process and that evolution going from, you know, talking about bell hooks and stuff like that, like, and that somewhere just not embracing the intersectionality of it and going the other direction instead, and just like, being taken in by the rainbow capitalists who obviously are just bald-facedly cashing in on social trends that don't give a damn about any of this stuff. They have no secret agenda. They just want to make money on the thing, and the current thing is, you know, people putting their
gender
is gender, sure,
and the transgenders, which are just you know, but such money making enterprise.
The idea,
but
yeah, just being taken in by that as though that actually represents some sort of nefarious thing beyond just this is what gives us money, so we're going to do it superficially as well. Because it's not as though those corporations have really changed much themselves internally. It's just, you know, once in a while one of them gets outed and well, because they don't want to jeopardize the money, well then they may can the person who is
I mean his kind of the way the comic goes, it's like it's just a fresh coat of paint. It's like every arc, every year that passes, the system just adjusts to how it's resisted. And so the woke capitalism is just like the way of circumventing the sisterhood by appropriating some of the things they were doing, but not really. So like they were like anti-porn and anti-oppression, and now it's using the fembots. They get the woke makeover, and they're no longer sex bots, though I guess sometimes they are, but whatever. They're mostly just like transhumanists, like we will create a world without gender, without humanity, and that's the comic that's shown in the Facebook post. It's like Sinfest has really gone off the deep end.
Yeah.
And like I wanted to understand because I like the art.
I do too.
Yeah, I'd actually like a poster with the woke fembot or thing. I don't know, but anyway, that's kind of my thing. I don't know, but to wash the taste out of our mouth, I have something that's kind of the opposite of a 22-year-old webcomic, a
Sure.
6-month-year-old webcomic called Political Cat Girls.
Political cat girls. Okay, let's see.
Now you're not going to look this up. It's offline now.
Okay.
But I have saved it, so you just gonna have to give me full screen.
Sure. Yeah.
And
you can share it
I
anytime.
will share it via my folder. So let me know when that's the case.
Yeah, you can go ahead and share your screen
So this
anytime.
was like the project of someone in college, I assume, where they were just doing it, and they were doing it during the 2016 presidential campaign, and when that was over. And now also they got started. This comic got big. It was really popular, and I think they weren't ready for popularity or fame. So they're like, I gotta stop this before it gets out of hand, because I'm not ready or prepared for this. Or they actually just lost interest in doing it, which is a shame because it was really good and there was had a lot of potential. And I kind of maybe someone else could pick it up, but I don't think anyone else has. So it definitely will not take as long to go through. It has, let's see, let's see, there's 8 a row. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like 46 pages.
Okay.
So it shouldn't take more than a half hour.
Cool.
And we'll take turns reading the text bubbles. How about that?
Sure. That'll work.
So the main two characters. So the premise of political cat girls is that there is this school for cat girls to go and learn political science, and each of the cat girls represents a different political tendency.
Okay.
So there's a lot of different humor where you personify concepts. Like there's the nation balls. There's the anime Hetalia, where countries are personified as people, as the most exaggerated form of them, which is pretty funny. In this case, the two main characters are kind of a anarcho-syndicalism and a straight socialism. So
Okay.
That
sounds cool.
Two main cat girls are
Nice.
kind of straight, central, left wing. So
Sure.
just give me.
You just
do I
got
need
to
click
you got to
something go
share
full
your screen. So there's the little icon in the middle there,
That, of course. There we go.
and then I'll pull it up, and there you go, and then you can.
Okay. So I don't think I'll be able to see you anymore.
Well, you can do it instead of share the full screen. You can share just a tab. So if you want to try that, unshare and then share again. So
Well, it's not a tab. It's a folder.
oh, it's a folder. So yeah, okay. So we won't be able to do it that way. Okay. Fair enough.
I'm not sharing. Yeah, I can't share my Firefox. I need to share. Let's see if I go to my folder, go to share. Can I do it that way?
I don't think you can share just a folder. I think your
No.
its entire
But
screen
can I
window.
share my screen?
Yeah, it'll have to be the full screen.
So share screen.
So that should come up.
Oh, there we go. The comic. There we go. All right. Oh, wow.
Oh,
There we go.
there we go.
Good. And now I can actually. Oh, darn it. Do I have to share each page when I bring up
No,
the page?
it should just stick with it. If it's the full
No,
screen.
when I open a page, it's still just showing the folder.
Oh, really? That's
So
obnoxious.
Let's go to photos. There we go. Allow. There we go. Okay.
Okay.
So why is it now in the?
There we go.
There we go. Good. All right, great. And I'll just. Okay, good. Now I can just flip through them. I believe. Is this each page? Yes. Okay. There we go.
Looks that way.
All right. Good. So these are our heroines. Hold on. All right. So their names are like Alana and Rodina. But together with Rodina's the blonde. So together with Comrade Rodina, we created an app to. So this is the first episode called the Hackathon, where they make apps. So together with Comrade Rodina, we created an app to empower workers. We call it Workers Unite. This app tracks how much work and compares with other similar companies so you can see if you're underpaid. And you can also organize a union strike right from the app. So, part 2. Oh, just like you leftist ideals, stupid on paper, even stupider in practice. This is the neoliberalism cat girl.
Okay. It's not coming up on the screen. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah,
It's not coming up on the screen for some reason.
Oh, it isn't. Oh, right. So let me switch. Let's see. There we go.
There we go.
There you go. So I forget if this is neoliberalism or I believe it is. Yes, neoliberalism. The cat.
Okay. Nice.
So, I've also made an app for workers. I call it Work and Consume. Free trade agreements let me hire some dude in India to code it for me.
Oh God.
Oh my God, here we go.
Yeah.
See what the background is.
Uh-huh.
This app will always display the unemployment rate so you know how lucky you are to have a job. It also has pictures of products you could probably want at the top. It also can rearrange your calendar so you can work more. And you can also take out a payday loan with just one text. You can read Aluna there. Aluna is the red.
Oh, okay. Are you fucking serious? Do you ever go to a day without exploiting somebody? Or am I supposed to alternate with you there? I don't know the layout.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Are you fucking serious?
You can go, Aluna, and I'll be neoliberal cat.
Oh, okay. Do you ever go a day without exploiting someone?
Some people actually want to work, sweetie.
Oh,
Why don't you run along and get back to Bernie phone banking? Your fellow socialists need you.
Bernie is a social democrat, not a socialist. How many times?
You can read Rodina as well.
Okay. Hey. Oh, it's getting fuzzy for me. I can't really. It's not a great resolution.
Can it
for
be
me.
bigger?
I can't. I don't know that I can make it bigger.
Is it bigger now?
There you go.
Okay.
Let's see. There's some other way. No, that's not going to make it bigger. I don't know.
It's not working.
I think that's about as big as it goes, I guess. So yeah, that text is getting fuzzy for me.
Okay, then I'll read it all, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, Luna, remember we talked about no violent revolution at school? Just let me shoot her once. So what did you come up with, new girl? And this is like an app for fellow libertarians. So this is libertarian.
That's libertarian cat girl.
I call it TALT, or taxes are literally theft, because they are. And because this app will analyze all of your finances and find every possible tax loophole. It can also auto launder your profits and convert them into Bitcoin. Taxes are theft, really? I suppose you don't use roads or hospitals in your life ever. Yes, but as I've been saying for years, those industries should be privatized. Besides, if everyone just applied themselves, they wouldn't need welfare. Hey, comrade, I don't think this girl has any perspective on being poor. How embarrassing for her. And then she's repeating no violent revolution at school. Come on, Rodina. This hackathon is bourgeois. Let's go. But what about our grade? Grades are a spook, Rodina.
Classic Sterner.
Okay, so now we're on to... So this is a Luna with Bernie cat.
Gotcha.
This is the actual Bernie cat here. Oh, what's the matter, new progressive left? Did Bernie drop out? No. Obama just endorsed Hillary and well, he said he'd take it all the way to the convention. But oh, don't cry now. It's okay. Us lefties will stick together and ensure the working class gets a fair share. Believe you me, I know a thing or two about keeping your head up while the bourgeois shits on the little guy. She sniffs. And who knows? Perhaps in the next few weeks, you'll look back on how this Democratic primary was really very clearly exemplified everything that's detestable about capitalism. Media indoctrination, corporations buying politicians, the American people's apathy to doing anything about it. And she goes, what? Capitalism? This has nothing to do with capitalism. Besides, it's natural and the only system that works. So, and then neoliberal cat comes by. Hey, ladies. Oh, hi, neoliberal. You ready to join our political revolution for the first woman president? Actually, I was thinking I'd vote green. Oh, now don't split the Democrat vote. That's how we get President Trump, isn't that right? Oh, right. And then Rodina comes by. Well, now, comrade, I think you did that very well that time. You didn't even use any weird theory terms or traitors, neocons. Don't come crying to me when Hillary passes test. You oh, well, now, Luna, remember what about making progress? Kind of ruin it now. Fucking open brawls. I'll make sure you're the first against the wall. Blah, 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 blah. So you can see Rodina is the nice socialist and
Right.
the bubbling
The
milk.
flame warrior.
So this one is called, this is episode 3, Meme Canon. Black Lives Matter are terrorist thugs. Kill them. So these are who these two are. This is alt-right cat and fascist cat. So thugs are also cucks. And so neoliberalism cat comes by and says, you guys, I just want to say that I totally see your review. A lot, hashtag all lives matter trending on Twitter. And all right cat goes, thanks. Bam. The fuck? And so this is I guess a cop killer. So the Walking Slaughterhouse Johnson did literally nothing wrong. So it's just a meme featuring someone who killed a cop, I guess.
Okay.
So it's like, and they all just get mad, like, SHUs, this is racism against whites. Hashtag all lives matter. So you see how neoliberalism cat is with them.
Yeah. Just joins right in.
So you have Alana up here with anarchism cat. That's the short one.
Gotcha.
Dude, it hit her like right in the head. This one next. T-shirt cannons are so rad. Look, are you the one spreading these memes around? Yeah, so. These are horrible, even for you. Do you want workers to think the left is filled with heartless cop killers? Wow, she's banging out another one.
You're right.
Oh, relax. Mainly, I just enjoy pissing off the right. But there are good arguments to be made on both sides of this. On the one hand, yes, celebrating the death of cops seems disgusting. However, we should oppose the police because of their function is protecting private property for bougies. They also shouldn't get away with the slaughtering of black people. Besides, it's not like we're just making these memes to be edgy teenagers. So seriously, though, turns anarchism cat going, die pigs, die pigs, die pigs. Anarchists are so expressive, aren't they? Episode 4, Aside. Seems Bernie Krat seems she's at the DNC in Philly. Oh, bless her heart. And she texts, hey, you should watch the DNC. You might see me. Where do you think this is going? Oh, man. And Luna's gonna so regret she wasn't here for our revolution. I bet when Bernie comes on stage, he'll the Nama. Cuts off. You're displaying an unapproved sign. And by the way, her sign is Freeburn. Let me take care of that for you. But that's I love Trump's hate sign. There you go. Enjoy the convention. Hill Dog thanks you for your support.
Oh God.
Back to our socialist girls. Oh, I think I see her. For those of you just joining us, Bernie Sanders just finished giving his speech on party unification. Oh man, she's crying all over that sign. She's so edgily defaced. This is almost too hard to watch. Do you kind of see the art there? It's like love Bernie or Trump wins. And she's crying. So, episode 5, Special Snowflakes. The left is just way too divided these days. There's like 1,000 different anarchos alone. What gives? Talking to anarcho. Well, they are all different. There's social and individualist schools of anarchist thought. Plus, now comes along. This is Stalinist Cat, who's the tall one.
Oh no.
With a newcomer. Why don't you try to make friends with these nice people? Thanks, Stalinism, Sama. We're going to hang out more later, right? Right. You wait for me in Gulag. Hi, everyone. I'm Anarcho-Hoaxism. I'm new here. By the way, are you guys revisionists? Revisionists are so lame. Rodina goes, hello. See, this is exactly what I'm going on about. Anarcho-Hoaxism? Never heard of that one. What exactly makes you an anarchist? Oh, yeah, I'm kind of unique. I believe in building bunkers anywhere, at any time, free from state intervention. Like right here. So random. So do you know the context behind this joke here? So Hoaxa was the communist leader of Albania.
Oh, that I did not know.
And so he, for the most part, for the longest line, he followed the mob line. But then in the 70s, he switched and followed.
Okay.
So he was super paranoid about being. So I'll basically hold the majority of the population and protect them from nuclear war. Because who actually believed that, think nuclear war is a possibility, you should actually be prepared for it. So Albania is very prepared for a nuclear war. So there's a joke about bunkers. I don't know where the anarchism comes in. But you can see how Stalin wants to get rid of them. So, wow, neat. What do you like to do for fun? And Luna is laughing, stickering, and anarchist cat flicks the bunker off. Oh, I like drawing and video games. Do you guys want to see my Sonic OCs? They're all characterized political ideologies. And Luna says, what a dumb idea. Meta joke. So here's episode nihilism. So this beauty here is nihilism cat. That girl really creeps me out. I try to avoid her as much as I can. Do we really need to ask, and Rodina says, who, nihilism? Why? Do you really need to ask why? She just goes on and on about has no meaning and nothing matters. It's so depressing. Rodina goes, interesting, because I find her white. Greetings, pupils. Eek. Oh, Professor Egoism. So the girl school has like 3 teachers. One of them's like Marxism, egoism, cat, and I guess. Okay. I couldn't help overhearing your conversation. One of you is nuking. And Elena goes, oh, I bet it's you. And Rodina goes, oh my, I'm so embarrassed. 9, it is you, Luna. Now put on these glasses of de-spooking. And behold, as your nihilism in a different light. And make me look like a nerd. Nihilism as a person is actually a very sweet, well-intentioned girl. People perceive nihilism's ideology to be instead of it being liberating. Spook nihilism. Nothing matters. De-spooked. Nothing matters. Which is the difference between a negative and a positive nihilism, by the way.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, sure.
Since Rodina already was on Spook, she gets a gold star. Ooh. Lesson concluded. How did you know that? Have you always been a secret nihilist all along? Rodina goes, oh, no, I just assume by default everyone's intending to be nice. So here is episode 7, A Situation of Pocket Monsters. I'm going to take a break and get water.
Sure, yeah, no problem. All right. Well, Dan's doing that. I just posted a link in the chat there. I found an archive of all of these comics that you can go check out on your own time.
Were you able to read it at all?
I was not. It's getting too small. But I did find a link to an archive of all of these comics online, so people can check it out.
Archive. Maybe you could bring that up. And, I don't know, but anyway.
I did. I posted in the chat there. So
Great. Because when I did a search, it was all like not real archives. It was like just
yeah, this one works.
a
I've
few
been looking
pages
at
or
it.
something that people had saved.
So this goes all the way up to. This is up through now. It's got 7, 8, 9. I assume this is 10. Yep, there's 10.
10 episodes, yeah.
And then
We're getting
11. Yeah, it goes through 11 episodes, and then it looks like a couple of extras.
Okay, so anyway, so as it's 2016 when this was, Rodina here is playing Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go to the polls, everybody.
His situation is going. Oh, hey, Rodina, so this is situationism, and she's like she loves drawing things and being a hipster. Hang on a sec, I gotta get this ratatouille. Marcuse's bruises, Rodina. Have you also engrossed yourself in this Poke Go? I expected this sort of thing from a Luna, but not you. Pokemon Go is the embodiment of the spectacle itself. As I'm sure you already know, the spectacle is the illusion of reality as presented to us. Yeah, I think I can see how that. Guy Debord's 19, and so it goes on with the full explanation. In Guy Debord's 1967 book, The Society of the Spectacle, he theorized that the spectacle erases the dividing line between self and world, and that the self, under siege by the presence and absence of the world, is eventually overwhelmed. It likewise erases the dividing line between true and false, repressing all directly lived truth beneath the real presence of falsehood made by the organization of appearances. Anyway, I just wanted to say hi. The individual, though, condemned to the passive acceptance of an alien everyday reality, is thus driven into the form of madness, in which, by resorting to magical devices, he entertains the illusion of reacting to his fate. And then she has these little comics that she drew, which is like, did you really catch that, Pitchy? Or did capitalism catch you? And the other one is like, and these are like the cap pigs, like, gotta capitalize them all.
Yeah, I see it. That's good.
I mean, for God's sakes, don't you read Jacobin? Augmented reality, indeed. Soon, there'll be a game where you just play as a Pokemon catching humans in an augmented reality, and the spectacle continues. Angrily sketchy. And nihilism comes by. Hello there, nihilism. The only one who manages to depress people more than I do. Pokemon Go does not matter, but neither do your opinions about it. Reject all material distractions and become an Ubermensch. Woo!
It's floats away.
But it's popular and I hate it. So here's which is probably, we could skip it, but I'll go through it anyway, I guess.
Sure.
So greetings and welcome back to Political Ideology Cat Girls. Today we have a very special edition, something I like to call a bag for alienated youth. Like the fireplace is just a taped up fire. Picture of a fire. I've heard there are a growing number of young people out there who may be drifting further to the right because of their anger and alienation caused by capitalism. Fortunately, we on the left are willing to listen to these hardships and be there with open arms, that they will come to realize their anger misdirected should instead be aimed at the pig fascists and the 1%. Now then, let's show some solidarity to a potential comrade. Our first letter comes from Tallahassee. Now, this basically has some Ask Ashley energy to it.
Sure.
Dear Internet Cat Girl, I can't get a girlfriend. Girls are all stupid whores. Story from yesterday. Me getting hot dogs from a hot dog truck. See girl sitting by curb crying.
Text.
Notice she is cute. Afraid to talk to her, so I run into the local gas station and buy a 40-ounce of malt liquor. Down it in less than 5 minutes. Feeling confident. Go back to the hot dog truck and get a hot dog with chili and cheese. Approach the girl who's crying. Say, no cute girl should be sad. Have a hot dog. She stares at me and I say and take it. She calls me a pedophile and gets up and walks away. I'm pissed, so I shout, you forget your hot dog, and I throw it at her missing. If I went up and said, suck my dick, probably would have fallen in love with me. Will I be assigned a girlfriend under socialism? Joe. Well, that turned out to be a terrible idea. To your question, Joe, no economic system can ever fix your shit personality. Please leave every woman alone forever. Thank you for turning into, hey, Zizek, you stupid cat. I told you not to eat from the trash can.
Name's like Zizek.
Now, this is being watched by Joe.
Okay.
Well, fine. If socialism won't get me a girlfriend, fascism will. It's time for action. Twitter.com. First profile. I mean, cat. Goes from empty profile to mega profile. Profile.
Mega and wow.
Okay. So, episode 9, Cat Boy. So, Rodina is at the bus stop. While a guy comes by. Hey there, sorry the bus to go to the local cat girl college across town. Oh, yeah, I do. Why do you ask? Well, I wanted to take a tour and consider opening a college like that my day. I'm now, but I've always had a strong interest in politics. Oh, is that so? But well, definitely without question. Nationalism. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not sure. I support Trump. I read Breitbart and Poll. But for me, protecting and preserving America is the most important thing to me. A strong military and closed borders are the way. A strong military? Aren't there better things that we can spend our money on, like free college or healthcare? And what about the countries the U.S. invades and steals? Well, yeah, imperialism is what keeps our standard of living so high. But if third world countries get invaded by us, that's their problem. We got to take care of Americans first. And Gordina says to herself, holy shit, people.
Yeah.
And so she goes, but what makes you care so much about Americans in particular? Tell me, if you were in a spaceship orbiting the Earth, what would you see? Why, I'd see the United States of America. But you wouldn't see any borders, would you? They're arbitrary. There's no logical sense other than an Indian or a Chinese stranger. Sorry, you lost me. I don't have cognition yet. So Rodina thinks to herself, this guy, my faith in humanity can't take much more of this. Anyway, I'm thinking that my school would only allow true Americans in. Do you know how much scholarship money is given to immigrant? Oh boy, sounds interesting. You know what? I better walk this.
Good move.
And the last panel is the right-wing girls. Ease mine.
Oh, it's the
They're-
pick me
they're-
girls. Oh,
They're in love, me. They're in love.
yeah.
Oh boy, I have to blow this up myself. Actually, let's see. Control. There we go. Okay, so this is the legitimate episode here.
Okay.
Bernie cat snaps. I want to give a Reed joke at the end of it. Hey guys, wow, why is CNN here? They wanted to interview someone from the school, so they picked neoliberalism. My voice was completely random. Rodina goes first. Luna wanted to go there and destroy the podcast, but I think I've talked out of it for now. And Luna goes, weird to hear that. Oh, yeah. Bernie Cat goes, Luna, don't make a fool of yourself on national TV just because you don't like Zen. And Luna goes, weird to hear that coming from you after what they did to your precious Bernie. She goes, well, you can't really blame the home for that forever. They do some good reporting. I'm going to go over there and see what they're talking about. Okay. So I think I hit control. There we go. This is good. This is good. You don't see like all of it at the same time. And now we'll hear from one of the students at the school on their newest project. So back to neoliberalism, Kat. For the midterm elections next year and the 2020 run against Trump, our local Young Democrats checked an easy-to-understand booklet on today's political landscape. Our data shows that liberals and centrists can be more effectively understand politics through political culture. Like 10 reasons why Trump is literally Voldemort. 10 reasons why Hillary Clinton is literally Ned Stark. 10 reasons why Hillary was the Wall Street Empire.
Ugh.
It's fun and informative. Well, great job on voter education where... And Bernie Pratt jumps in. What the fuck? Did you just say Hillary 2020 again? Huh? She's lost twice now, and Democrats again and risk 4 more years of Trump. You fake news hacks and the DNC just conspired against Ellison, and now this? Why the fuck won't you just go away? Well, that sounds great, Joanne. I just love the expressions of like,
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that closes out. That closes that out. There are one-offs. Hold on. Okay, so let's go to this. Oh, wait, no, I want to go to photos again. Yeah. Okay, good. So this is anarcho-hoaxism. OMG, BunkerCon is just around the corner. I'm assuming that the anarcho-hoaxism is an internet-created tendency where some anarchists just like, oh, hoaxism is, let's just...
Yeah.
So it's a joke tendency here. Oh my God, like BunkerCon is just around the corner. I wonder, though Posadism is represented in what I should cosplay as this year. I know, I'll be a bunker again. I wonder if Josephine Chan is going, maybe we can do a dual cosplay. That is Stalinist cat, by the way. Hey, it's me, Glomps you. Do you have your tickets for BunkerCon here? This person isn't receiving messages from you right now. LOL, are you getting these messages? I think my phone is messing up. So the only joke is wants to be close to Stalin, can't.
Been blocked.
Here's a nice little scene. This is Dirtbag Left Cat.
Nice.
Look familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For any audience members, this is ContraPoints. When her like black radical leftist persona is this black bloc cat girl.
God.
I think she has a name, but anyway.
Nice.
Doesn't dress up as her since transitioning though.
Oh, okay.
At least I'm
did not know that lore.
So this is a Luna wishing a happy birthday to Roge of a cat, basically.
Okay.
But it's like a narco-socialism, eco-socialism, basically. But just go around smashing windows and this is a neoliberal speaking. Okay. Then you have a banker going, savages, didn't they learn nothing from MLK's peaceful protests? All right, looks like your foreclosure paperwork is all in order. You folks have any fun plans? So this is Comcat. So these are like they're not quite one-off comics, but just like lines.
Yeah.
You know. So Left Com is a left communist which is a tendency. It's like you can see like the speech bubble is, I don't get all the support for. So her main hobby is hanging out in the library and hissing at people. Very negative and dreary. Eats plain Greek yogurt. Says no to most things. Definitely not impressed. So a type of internet leftist who doesn't really like anything, and it's never really, and
sure,
usually finds a reason to be against anything.
Anti.
Always tired from complaining. So these is character sheets for Leninism and syndicalism. Make that out at all?
Actually,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's good.
These are Mother. So religious were included in the 10 episodes, but again, like it's only 10 episodes, right? So you obviously could have gone forward with it, but just stopped, just lost interest,
ran out. That's too bad.
Often reminds people that whatever they're doing is pointless, not popular. Likes nice. Situationist, an artist, frumpy and unfashionable, never gets references because she doesn't consume corporate content. Fascism, neo-Nazi, interests include promoting eugenics and beating up exchange students, except for that Kurdish girl who wrecks her. So here's the Podadism one. Stop calling me that. You have nothing to do with my ideology. Do you even go to the school? Nah, I'm homeschooled. Anyway, check out my sweet new jam. I'm calling it the 666th International.
That's awesome.
So, by the way, the one on the left is Trotsky Cat. That's a
Trotsky Cat. Okay.
Yeah, she's bookish. She runs the school newspaper, and and so on.
Nice. I like these. These are very good.
Yeah. A rare look into Situ Cat sketchbook. Most girls, I love the spectacle. Me. Like lost children, we lived in unfinished adventures. And basically fawned over by Guy Debord and situationists. Hey, you can't just look at through someone's like nice meme. Don't worry, I'm sure Debord would have fallen for you. You're both such conceited dork nerds. Did you really think so? So here's the character sheets for Sarlatus, captain of the Marksmanship Club, Trotskyist Cat, editor of the school paper, captain of debate team. Both are usually accompanied by a squad of some sort. Used to be BFFs. Now Trotskyist writes some stories, smear stories in the school paper about Stalinists. And that's all she wrote.
Nice. Very good.
So cut short. There is another episode saved because it gets creepy. But basically, and this are like it. The artist kind of lost interest because they personally wanted to take the comic in a different direction that did not need or include the cat girl. So, but the final episode is anarchist cat kind of doing some transhumanism. Where they convince this loser, like some loser neat, to upload his consciousness onto the web.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, that's number 11.
Yeah, that's number 11. It's weird. So I don't include it in the main canon, so to speak.
Sure. It's non-canonical.
Wish that this continued or was remade by someone else.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to work with, and I like the way that she does it. It's a lot more interesting than the first comic we looked at, the Sinfest, I have to say. A lot more thoughtful analysis, like actually good at poking fun at everybody.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right. But I mean, it's also from the perspective that we have. So there's
right. Well, yeah. So there's definitely
our
inborn bias. So.
is
for sure.
play,
For sure.
yeah.
I will acknowledge that.
We could use more comics with an anarcho-syndicalist bias, right?
Absolutely, I totally agree.
Or regular leftist bias.
Sure.
There's this one comic. Let's see. Since we're talking web comics, I don't think I've saved it at all. But it was like, what's it called? But it basically, I think it was called "If You Can Shoot Pixels." So maybe look that if you can shoot pixels, because like the tagline is if you can shoot a real gun, and so it's from the comic about basically like an anarcho punk who train. Was it what do you call it when you hitch a ride on a train?
Oh, just riding the rails, I guess.
Yeah,
train hopping, that sort of thing.
Train hopping, whatever.
So what you said the name was what now?
Shoot Pixels. I came across it when I was looking for some inspiration. I will look for more, and maybe next time I'll try and understand the one sin best, which I don't regret. But it's definitely, it has a lot of concepts that I feel could be reworked and done better or more interesting, because it's just stuck in centrist politics land. But I want to understand the TERF brain, and it's a good way of understanding the TERF brain, because the TERF these days is just a left leaning because they don't like capitalism, but they're rad femme first, so they're going to see how things are playing out through that lens, especially if they're not on top of things or they haven't read beyond rad femme literature. Like, if you read, I mean, maybe it depends on what you read first. Like, if you read rad femme lit first, then you may convince yourself that, well, all these other theorists are just dead white men, and obviously they're there for the patriarchy. So why would I take any of what they put into account? But then, of course, there's intersectional socialist women writers. So, well, Hooks being kind of one of them. But
that's what I was just gonna say. Yeah,
this is like, kind of weird where you read like some bell hooks, but not all of it. But I mean,
yeah,
you should
pick and choose.
Bell hooks is not the be all end all, of course, either. Because I mean,
sure,
she only recently, I think, she still died, actually.
No, she recently died.
She just recently died. She's a long lifetime of body of work. I mean, she taught literature and writing at the college I went to for the later quarter of her life, you know. So, I mean, she spent most of her, like half of her career as a teacher, not really a writer. But so she didn't really write things later in her life. I mean, obviously she wrote more, but there's definitely a sense of like the author of Sinfest processed his breakup by reading Reminism, because like when he broke up with him, it was like you are being a misogynist dick, and I can't take it anymore. And you're a comic or something.
Yeah.
So I need to change that.
And that's totally a healthy
whatever.
way
I
to
don't know. And that's
process it. But like,
yeah, and a lot of the let's say the TERFs and the Green Party, which are the ones I interact with, you know, they're also anti-socialists. You know, they see that as a bad move, and it's like, but it's interesting that in Synfest, we passed over it beforehand, but latest trend that Abby, the Devil Girl, is revolutionary merch, and so since you know Monique, and this is why Monique's completely politically homeless, is that when the the Mao hat and the Che, but then notice that all the advertisements are now like revolution with a heart and a Che, like a trans Che icon and around. Yeah.
whoops.
Part of the machine, man. Even us radical lefty can't escape it.
Right.
But how do we expand our consciousness? We need the truth of apples from the truth of knowledge, I guess.
Absolutely.
But like, what does that equate to in real life? Realities. But again, it was all allegory to this author. That's a name, by the way, but or a pen name anyway. But yeah, that's that.
Cool.
We have a bit more time if you want to go to the full hours. I have open a Discord chat from the Batcave.
The back,
which is it's the Discord channel. Thought who has a YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, I know ThoughtBat. I like them.
I just opened that ping because he was asking a question to the Discord server. Really, just a not quite. No, it's not relevant.
Okay.
I could bring up since the Illuminati was so part of Synfest, maybe there's a Saint Andrewism.
Oh yeah, I like him too.
Do you know Saint? Yeah, so maybe we could.
I do. Yeah.
Video how to beat. Okay, so we could do that.
Sure.
Put them in there.
All right. Let's pull that up. And
putting that in the
screen.
I'll take that off. Play the Joker one. Oh, actually, no. It's half the length is the
Okay.
latest video from you. You go pink. Shoot.
Oh, you got me. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you pop. Pink. The Balkan guy who's maybe not Balkan, but Slav, but to the Balkans. So
this one here, why we blame women for the masculinity crisis. All right, sounds good. Let's take a listen.
Imagine if women knew what men say about them when they're not around.
Grab them by the pussy.
Dick, 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 dick. How many dicks is that? A lot.
Get the ladies nice and tipsy topside so we can take them to a nice, comfortable place below deck and, they can't refuse because of the implication.
Okay, that seems really dark.
Imagine if men knew what women share about them when they're not around.
I'm going to write about cocks and balls the way male writers write about tits. His nuts, once so full and heaving in the summers of his youth, now clung to his pelvis as a reminder of the cold in his
You
powerlessness.
think chaos, right?
And all of that is nested inside the Dragon of Chaos.
Straight up episode of Rick and Morty where all the dudes have been killed and allowed to devolve to Neanderthal-like creatures only capable of killing and mating. To that I say L and ratio because I think you would be wrong. It's the very fact that we aren't frank with each other about what we really think of one another that got us into this mess in the first place. The traditional binary relationship between cis men and women can be characterized through many a lens, but there is one undisputable constant: misunderstanding. We've built and annihilated civilizations together, wrote tomes of literature about each other that couldn't fit in 30 Alexandrian libraries or 5 Razer PC SSDs, and yet even today, in an era of holograms, heart surgery, and early space travel, we're none the wiser about who we share almost half the planet with. It's exactly this lack of understanding that has created a hole desperately in need of filling, one that many a grifter, misguided intellectual, or reactionary ideologue would gladly expand while pretending they're actually helping mend it. The discussion on manosphere influencers, as they're called, is as backed up as me after I single-handedly eat a 3-person KFC bucket. Jordan Peterson, Andrew King, or the other 69,301 TikTok accounts that aim at inspiring so-called new generations of men tired of not receiving state-mandated girlfriends has been dissected, discussed, dunked on, and overanalyzed more times than the Bible. We're here to address a much more interesting question, one which looks at the cause, not the symptoms of why, in the first place, is there a crisis of so-called masculinity? How does it relate to femininity, to capitalism and sex? Or said more plainly, why is a certain loud minority of men so obsessed with being up in women's business? What even is masculinity? A biological reality, an identity, a set of rules and values. 3,000 years ago in Greece, it meant wifing up through sex. 2,000 years ago, for the Germanic tribesmen, it was the ability to protect his woman. Medieval Europeans added chivalry and piety to the mix. During the Victorian era, all masculinity was seemingly thrown away as unnecessary, only to be brought back in the West under the ideal of breadwinning, no longer through a sword or against a foe, but through work and studious labor for the wife and the family that the man brought about respect. Notice the pattern? Yeah, for all the talk about the masculine, it seems to always revolve around the feminine. Feed the woman, fed the woman, and even reject masculinity for the woman. This is where French philosopher, one of the rare good things the French nation has given us, Lacan, comes into play. As an extension and adaptation of previous psychoanalytic theory, Lacan and Slavoj Žižek after him propose, and mind you, this is about to be a massive simplification and modernization, one done for your sake. Trust me, you don't want me talking about the male phallus for 10 minutes. Okay, where was I? Yeah. Lacan proposes that masculinity in itself is a false identity insofar as it only exists in its relation to the fetishized idea of the feminine, when the extent to which masculinity can exert itself is questioned, be it through the first experience men have with not achieving an erection at a moment when they really need one, their inability to provide in a system that doesn't allow them to, or just knowing that there will always be a bigger, badder dude than you out there. When the extent to which whatever your definition of masculinity can exert itself is questioned, the male symbolic lack, as it's called, looks outwards to satisfy itself. And where does it find it? In the woman. Well, the fetishized, twisted idea of the woman, one which serves many roles but must never abandon her primary one, to fill the symbolic lack.
Hey there, pretty mama, when I fill my symbolic lack.
To be a tool for the masculine to keep itself alive. By offering protection or the ability to, quote, take care of the woman, masculinity reinvents itself and erases its inadequacies. Looking inwards, or God forbid, critically discarding archaic ideas would be far too difficult. So, in a similar way, we dose ourselves with dopamine through 8-hour screen times, drink ourselves to sleep, exercise away the feelings of inadequacy. According to Lacan, we use what we think the feminine is as a cure for the symptoms of a truth we cannot accept, that we, like everyone else, are lacking. Specifically, that our idea of masculinity is lacking. So what is it that changed so much that now, after almost 5,000 years of playing around and adapting what it is to be masculine, that we've come to a point when it's in quote-unquote crisis? Well, to put it simply, it's always been in crisis. Only now we've run out of excuses. With the relative emancipation of cis women and the wholesale ideological acceptance of their equality in professional capability to men, the ability for masculinity to use the twisted idea of women as something in need of taking care of ceased to exist. Or to say it in more Gen Z terms, women now get to set the standards and men can't be bothered to fulfill even the minimum. The so-called emancipatory movement for women's rights has quite literally taken away the cope machine from men on what gets to make them feel like the dude. Unless they find an internal or material manner in which to satisfy their own definitions of masculinity, they no longer have a readily available woman to just attach their lack to. That's why not all men go down this path, just the ones who...
So this last minute makes me think of, Dr. P saying, like, we have workplace like we don't have any standards for what's allowed.
Don't know the rules anymore. Yeah. Oh shoot, cutting out just a minute there, Dan.
I know my connection is jumping. Okay.
There we go. Now it's back up to full.
Now it's down to 1. Okay. But anyway, what are the standards? What are the women's standards that women? So sometimes there's a baseline level of don't rape and sexually harass, and maybe that's
right.
Kind of the format that it's taking. Those like no harassment, no sexual coercion, or no coercion. So yeah, that just comes to mind there. That like, but maybe there needs to be a new feminist manifesto, like a, and maybe actually it has been published, but maybe it has been cemented as a consensus of this new standards for third or fourth wave feminism is. Although third wave, wait, no, fourth wave. Oh, God damn it! I'm always confused about this.
Yeah.
Third. We intersectional feminism is fourth wave, right?
I think so. Let me check.
And I'm referring to like the new tendency that has developed in the last decade or so.
Right.
Because we were kind of in second wave feminism until the basically when the limit. I mean, Hillary basically bumped up against the limits of second wave feminism, basically.
Right.
Thus, Me Too or Me Too kind of marks the beginning of the fourth wave, basically.
Yeah. So fourth wave began in around 2012, characterized by a focus on empowerment of women, use of internet tools, and intersectionality.
Yeah. Elevator Gate actually maybe could be seen as the actual tipping point of that.
Sure.
And the end of new atheism, basically, as this is, we got to go beyond just bigger than just fighting religion or whatever, you know. There's patriarchy, goddammit, and it's all this other shit. So it's intersectional, blah blah blah.
Right.
But yeah. And we can't just go along to be a professional working woman. We're building off of the third wave feminists of the new left in the 60s. And that's kind of the thing that the rad femmes don't seem to understand, or what hasn't been communicated well enough to them, is that fourth is building off of third wave. We're just adding in the extra layers of capitalism and all the other, where we're kind of solving the issues that to be sexually liberated as well as economically or politically liberated. That you know, you're sexually liberated, but if you're not economically liberated, then yeah, I guess you are just, and all porn is evil.
Sure.
But if it's co-op, you know,
right,
or it's made by
terms become very different.
Yeah, but then it's like, is it all bad because it's in the marketplace? I mean, capital economics is, and you know, then shifts to like how in the Soviet Union, in the 30s, like they would propaganda line that there's prostitution in the Soviet Union, and all of the former prostitutes were now retired, and they had their own like retirement home, basically, where they get care and whatever, and so there's no more prostitution. So
dang.
So
sorry, you froze a little bit there. So
I was relating how in the Soviet Union the line was that there was no prostitution.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Even though there definitely was, but yeah.
But whether it's a plan, I mean, well, that's a case of the RADFEM that even if it's planned economics without markets and capitalism or liberal economics, that you still have sex work being done and it's still oppressive.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Because I mean, it was state capitalism, though. So if anything, the prostitution was nationalized, I guess, and that's where the
There
state
you go.
mandated state girlfriend.
Oh God, yeah.
Or at least state provided sex work where you petition for it. Not really for that.
No, definitely not.
But I am interested in my kind of a solar punk story idea about like a liberated brothel.
Liberated brothel.
Like in a liberated economy where it's like a solar punk economy that's socialist in the ways that we envision it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Would a brothel exist? Would it have a reason to exist? What kind of form would it take? My idea would
Sure.
But almost like maybe I'm starting from the position that there would still be some form of like sex market.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
the
it's hard.
the RADFEM assumption is nobody would do it voluntarily.
Yeah, and I think that's just not true.
We know there's 10% of sex workers who say are because they would, if it wasn't just to pay off my student debt or when I would still do it.
Actually enjoy the work. Yeah. Yeah.
Because they don't have a pimp. The ones that don't have a pimp. So the way that Synfest, like all sex work has a pimp. And that's where it's like, what if there isn't a pimp? What if there's no boss? You know, that's where it's kind of, that's where we can admit more.
Absolutely.
So anyway, continue the video.
Sounds good. Continuing on.
Who would have always needed a specific type of woman to feel like a man. This isn't helped either by the commodification of relationship in general as a direct consequence of how capitalism works. I made a whole video on that you can check out by clicking above. Also, to quote Zizek, as an unintended consequence of sexual liberation, commodified sexual liberation, the masculine has identified getting laid as something of far greater value than love, and therefore only continues to dig its hole even deeper by now trying to redefine itself as masculine equals getting bodies. This is precisely where the bottom-tier masculinity salesman comes in. They tell you to reject the modern woman, for she can't even hope to give you satisfaction for your lack, obviously dressing it in a cheap gown of sexism about female degeneracy or some other shit. When they're done belittling the modern woman as having strayed from the path, as if they're vagina Gandalf or something, they push ideas of high-value men versus high and low-value women on you, using idiotic market logic to resolve questions of the soul. They teach you how to market yourself as if you were a brand in order to acquire...
He's showing in the background the video of Channel 5's like pickup artist boot camp.
Yes, I recognize that pickup artist with that the purple mohawk there. Yeah.
Now the problem with it's not. I mean, this is a good analysis, but like I'm aiming at the most bottom level masculinity panderer. But there's still like those upper levels where I'm like, I do wonder, like, am I in that? Like, I haven't shed it all yet. You know, am I still worried? I really don't. I think you and me we're free of this worry of like, am I masculine enough? What is masculinity is not. And I think the first half of his video is like masculinity has always been relating to women, and femininity conversely relates how women relate to men.
Right.
So if we actually relate each other in equal terms, then these things, these concepts aren't needed. Except, like, and maybe now, like, that's how we're evolving them, merely cosplay act as. Which is where, you know, performing femininity or perform masculinity, the bedroom, but really nowhere else. And if you're doing it kind of a commodified form where you're doing it to perform, signal, and in the marketplace, which is commodified gender. Otherwise, gender kind of just be almost like that. I'm just spitball.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. I think you make some good points there. Yeah. I'm having trouble formulating words, but yeah, I can see what you're saying for sure. The idea of having most of gender just be behind closed doors in your private life, and then everything else is just performative. Yeah. I mean, it's true. Like all of us are performing in public at all times. So,
I'm not.
Yeah, I'll have to let that sink in more.
I'm not. I'm an individual.
Yeah.
It's like you all can think for yourself. That's
right. Well, I mean, everyone. Yes. We all can think
I'm
for
not.
ourselves. Yeah, that's good. I'm just saying, like, we all have a vision of who we are and who we like to project into the world, and so, however we present ourselves in public is in some way a reflection of that. So, in some way, we're all performing.
Sometimes I have anxiety about how I'm not projecting anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or I'm not ever consciously making a decision to project anything, unless I'm. Yeah, the only time I do is when I'm politically active, and then I consciously like, what buttons am I putting on? What kind of wearing a suit? Is this a protest? Like what kind of what do I want to see people there? That's the only time.
Otherwise, you just
Am I going to
mind is elsewhere?
A queer event?
Yeah.
Should I wear my nail polish?
Sure.
That's as I'll get, I guess. I can't imagine dyed my hair, and I don't think I'm ever going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I have enough. I mean, I don't. That's the thing. I don't have hair or the type of hair to do kind of woke style that's shown stereotype.
Oh, you could always do. It would just be a narrower spike of hair curled over to the side.
Well, it's longer hair where like not shaving, but buzzing off of it, around the ear.
Yeah.
Seems to work for them.
Oh, cut out again. Jeez.
Because it's creating like they just have one large kind of swoop and whatever. Okay, let's keep going.
Right.
We're almost at.
Okay.
The new currency of masculinity, getting laid. Some go so far as to even tell you that a woman's sexual pleasure during intercourse doesn't even matter, watering down the definition of alpha, beta, sigma masculinity to quite literally just bragging rights. But it works because it's a relatively coherent, stupid, but coherent and easy new thing to wrap your head around. While most of them LARP about the nuclear family, they can't even afford to take care of themselves, let alone 3 other people. The new model simply works. Instead of seeing the now more demanding woman in front of you and shedding your backward sexist ideas, you're just reset to the new idea of what it is to be a man. No longer a breadwinner, but a more old-school version, a conqueror of the female gaze. But enough about this basic pitch on how masculinity can be saved, even though it's the go-to mechanism for the majority of those struggling with, quote, becoming a man. There's a far more devious current of anti-women rhetoric slowly bubbling under the sea of reactionary politics. Do you remember what life was like without the internet? Some of you probably. What about without television? A lot fewer, eh? How about cars? According to my channel statistics, probably very, very, very few of you. We created all those things in the past century, and life, which is thousands of years more ancient, seems unimaginable without them to us now. Well, human rights work the same way. They're not some natural occurrence which we all live. Quite to the contrary, they are the statue we build out of the rocks of nature. We have advanced well enough as a species to be able to afford rights. Classes have fought, died, and fought again for said rights. Yet, the same way we can't imagine life without a refrigerator, it's pretty difficult for you to mentally teleport yourself back to even 70, 80 years ago, to a world where people of color in the West weren't even considered human, when we put lead in toy paint, or when playing around with asbestos us didn't really feel like anything because mom smoked through her entire 9 months of pregnancy with us. A world so distant and yet so close. That's why it hit so hard and yet so mellow when Roe v. Wade was overturned. Streets didn't burn, governments weren't overturned. We were rowdy for a week or two, and that was it, at least for the majority. Even as it's happening in front of you, as the new normal is being built, it's almost impossible for our minds to comprehend it. It'll fix itself, we think. Oh, come on, this can't be happening over here. That was my attempt at an American accent.
That wasn't
This
bad.
will blow over.
Terrible.
And hell, it just might. But
I'm
what if
walking
it
here.
doesn't? That is the question that the
You might as well
Tier
have done
2
that. I
ideology
wouldn't
of
know
masculinity I
that.
mentioned earlier
Yeah.
can't wait to answer. Now, we've touched on the psychoanalytical look towards the masculine earlier, so let's now take a more materialist approach. We talk about this plenty here on this channel, which you should subscribe to right now, by the way. The Soros women lobby, which paid me to make this video, doesn't really pay all that well. We talk about how, at moments of crisis, societies either address their reality by altering or completely changing the true root cause of their problem, the systematic way they have organized that society, or they give into escapism, something political scientists like myself like to call reaction or reactionary politics, which no, it's not Markiplier playing Fortnite.
This is big brain time.
It's basically fascism, my dude. But what the hell does all of this have to do with masculinity? Well, it's rather simple. When you raise generations of men on the idea that their sense of success as men is defined by their ability to financially upkeep a family, and then you create a system in which that isn't even possible because, I don't know, a house costs 3 lifetimes of work and the $150K salary might be achievable, but only at the point of your life when your kids have kids. So when you don't want anyone to actually get mad at the system, stuff like the way the economy functions and who it benefits, the way company and state hierarchy works, and so on, you find them an escape, a reaction, a thing to complain about as the false cause of their misery, a system-wide scapegoat. The way not being able to find a job, an error of the system, is offloaded to the immigrant. Not finding a wife is offloaded to the woman herself.
If only it was the 50s, she would get me. Back when men had a strong hand, a woman knew her place. Now, they only care about superficial things. They throw away their innocence and act almost man-like.
Of course, that's not said outright, but, you know, the modern racist doesn't go around saying slurs either. The fear of being treated like the other for the first time is terrifying. The woman is presented at the same time as one who holds all the power, and somehow someone who is inherently inferior.
The parameters for my resistance are quite well defined, which is we talk, we argue, we push, and then it becomes physical, right? Like if we move beyond the boundaries of civil discourse, we know what the next step is. Okay, that's forbidden in discourse with women. And so I don't think that men can control crazy women.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Also want to mention, that's also probably Bill Maher's take.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
He makes it about crazy bitches that you can't control.
Oh, absolutely.
Or that you have to get physical with.
Yes. All the he loves that sort of like old timey take my wife toward sort of humor that I just
my wife's a bitch, right?
Yeah.
Bitch
Right.
wife.
Ha ha ha. Right. Yeah. I
My
don't
bitch
know
wife.
how anyone in the audience laughs that hard as they apparently are doing. I swear that has to be added on. Like maybe they do it live or in post or whatever, but I can't imagine because he'll say just the most hacky joke in the world, and they and like you know peals of laughter and applause and stuff like that. I just something about that guy.
Yeah, I mean they write it in because I mean the audience likes it.
I guess so, but where are these people coming from that still find that so just fresh and innovative that, oh man, I got to give that a big round of applause.
They were born before 1985.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
Well, I think
maybe we'll be generous. And
Sure.
Say 80.
Sure.
Actual millennials, older millennials count.
Sure.
Like my brother. But Gen Xers of any cohort. You know, it's obviously you'll have chill and based Gen Xers around, but they do generally have, you know, the stereotype of not giving a shit and just kind of thinking they have absorbed 60s counterculture, but not really like absorbed. Like they were exposed to it, but it wasn't really part of their everyday lives.
Yeah,
it was still like it took a generation
for sure
that would benefit and then evolve.
Sure.
I mean, in 15-year increments, which is why you get those 15-year increments going from, like if you take between like when third wave feminism is developed during the boomer 15 years, and then you have us. It's really the Zoomer. I mean, during the Zoomer generation, or actually, yeah, I guess you could say that developed the third wave more than us millennials, but we've been on board with it.
Absolutely.
Or it's as no, it's no coincidence. It's as millennials join the adult workforce over the age of 25 that basically it's like we've been totally raised by boomers. Like we were raised by boomers, so we've been gestating, like Goku in the healing chamber, in second wave feminism, so we can take it forward. We can apply it in a way that they couldn't and Gen Xers couldn't, because Gen Xers were also born and raised by silent generation and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'll have to think more about that.
There's always this assumption that like the one generation is the next one, but of course that means they're all having kids at 15, which isn't the case. It's actually two.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a 2-gen gap between what one cohort's doing and the next. And again, I don't want to speak in the fatalistic terms of the people who coin these terms, who are marketers.
Right.
But just to point out that there are 15-year trends in culture.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Like I didn't start having kids till I was 27, 28. So yeah, generation and a half gap between me and my kids. Although they are, I think, technically Zoomers still. But that's just because I'm an elder millennial. So.
It's okay. My parents had.
Okay. I'm glad you give me a pass for that.
My parents had me and my brother at. We were 5 years apart. So, but it was my brother at early 30s and me when they were later 30s. So, but they had us 5 years apart because they had read somewhere that 5 years was, if you're going to have two kids, a gap between them, because that's the gap of time it takes. By the time you've had your second kid, the one is starting kindergarten. So
yeah, that makes sense.
You
got one out of the house.
You will not have. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the main thing. But it also that there's enough time that like the older sibling will actually be able to hear one or
look out for them.
Yeah. So me and my bro have always had a good relationship because we've never had to compete for anything. They started dating way before I would, or they started high school, and so on, and hit this age post.
Sure. Definitely.
And I don't have the time to wait 5 years. But the thing, so because my sister-in-law had a miscarriage when she was 20, she was very annoyed or concerned, maybe legitimately, that she shouldn't wait too long because she was like, she didn't want to have the tragedy strike again. So she did 5 years. She was like, I'm gonna have the two kids, but only like 2 years apart. So yeah, and then that just kept happening.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that can be the case
because they kept messing up the birth control.
Yeah, I mean, there's advantages to both. Like, dealing with teenagers all as one batch can be trying, I'm sure, but at the same time, at least you're all done at the same time. They're all out of the house.
I guess, but
so you're not stretching out. Who is you don't always have a teenager for the 15 years straight.
Well, I mean, you go through one, and then the second one's always. I mean, the second time.
Yeah.
Is always easier, and having such a gap.
For sure.
Okay, so I'll let you go. I think maybe it's just the minus stuff. No. Okay, so that's good.
All right.
We finished the Yogo Pink video, or did you just close it?
I had to close out because I gotta get going. But yeah, I left the link in case anyone else wants to take a look at that. So yeah, out of time. So thank you, Dan, for being on. You can check out Dan at 3lefts.news.
Good stuff. Good stuff for him.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed having you on tonight. There was a lot of good stuff we covered.
Okay.
Interesting to the funny to the sublime to the idiotic at the end. There was the closing out on JP, but
all right.
Yeah.
Conservative manifesto. He's
Well,
the true
thanks.
leader of our time. Bye-bye.
Oh my God. All right. See you another time. Couple weeks. All right. That was Dan Plaat. Go check out his stuff at 3lefts.news. Let's see. Some people coming in right at the end. Looks like we have at least one person, so we'll do a raid. And then we will be done. Let's see who's on right now. We have EPA regulations. That looks like a good one to raid. I enjoy their content. So we will raid right into EPA regulations. And they are covering just Mega Man number 4, part 3. Cool. So have a good night. Hope to see you all tomorrow night for A People's History of the United States. Oh, I think we're in chapter 6 or 7 now. I can't even remember. It's been a while since I've done it because I had to take a break from that for doing house hunting stuff. But we'll get back on that horse tomorrow. Unless something comes up and we have to put in an offer for a house right away. But here we go. Enjoy the raid. See you all tomorrow night. Have a great night.